Right beside the darts of the plan. Whose story ain't made in art of the man. The new knowledge of power. One more prayer. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroying lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. I found the truth and I'm not letting go. Frederick Douglass and Booker T found power. Nat Turner found truth in his darkest hour. Mama Harriet set us free and stood for we. In these pages I found power in our history. UEP birthed the panther in me. In me, never let a fascist pig carry me, not me. Revolutionary thoughts, all I read. Normal for my soul, keep my spirit on high. Revolutionary thought is always on the rise. Yeah, it's always on the rise. Love. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us, our problems was them. Them being the ones who robbed and took us, kings and queens, nation builders. From stolen legacy to Anthony Browder, building institutions with black knowledge. Build black libraries for black scholars, building black minds, urban philosophy, urban black reads every one place. Black owned bookstores, we support your space. To all black authors, we give much thanks. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Ooh. Knowledge is power, our power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge.
All right, hold on. I'm like, let me get my stuff together. Hold on. Let me get it all together. Peace and love, peace and black African love to everyone under the sound of my voice. Man, I'm sounding like Brother Ankh right now with the man. You know, we got another banger today, family. We're going to be talking about the so-called African Diasporan wars. We're going to be talking about black culture. What is black culture? Because you hear brothers and sisters in the diaspora say that black Americans don't have culture, or however you identify. Because, Baba and Ankh, I don't know. I say black American, people like, no, it's FBA, no, it's ADOS, no, it's Freeman. But they're saying those of us over here, right? They're saying we don't have culture. And then, shout out to Dr. Asar Winkler. He actually just went live, I think the day before yesterday, to address that, right? He was saying it's that fact or fiction that black Americans don't have culture. So we're going to unpack what culture is and what it isn't. And I do want to talk about African culture. I just had this beautiful conversation with Baba Imhotep FATIU, and it's something that Brother Ankh, you've been saying for a while, in regards to African culture. And African culture did not just stop in Africa. You know what I mean? African culture traveled with us, and we expressed African culture in various contexts. So we're going to unpack that, what African culture is and is not. But Brother Ankh, before we get started, what it do, Brother Ankh? In those Baltimore times, what it do, Brother Ankh?
Hey, what it do, man? Welcome, man. The people in the building appreciate you, man. The whole crowd, the supporters that's been with us. Man, we've been doing this for how long, Doc? It's been a minute, man.
Yeah. Over a decade now. Over a decade now, together over a decade.
Came a long way. All I can say, man. And big up to the great teacher in the building. What's up, man? Man, I remember, man, that little
What up?
teeny little small. That's why I can't stand Umar Johnson, though.
Come on,
Let me
come
tell you
on.
why I can't stand Umar Johnson. Because this man right here, and I don't know, was it like a strip mall or something?
Man, it's been a church. It's been in strip malls. It's been in a little tiny house
Bro.
in the hood that the hood
Bro,
donated to us. It's been under a tree, and I'm not lying or exaggerating.
bro, I'm saying, and you did that.
Yes, sir.
And
We
it
did
wasn't
it.
no, you scamming, ain't that, ooh, why? But you did that. And then we got people getting thousands of dollars. Imagine what you could have did with that damn money, bro.
Come
Oh,
on,
man,
that
look,
part. Come on,
look.
Ankh. If somebody
Hey,
handed him a bill,
doing it
Think
without
about
it,
that.
doing it without it, done prepared me to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because all these years of doing it without the funds, when the funds come, we already got a plan. It's already laid out.
that's right.
It's
And a
already
model,
laid
and a
out.
model, Baba.
And a model.
The Uhuru Academy
A
model.
Uhuru Academy model that's already laid out, ready to go, plug and play.
Yeah, we got to start pushing that because that's real. Ain't no scam around that. And that's why I can't stand Umar, man. Charismatic speaker, nonsense, bro. Anyway, man, this is going to be a powerful show, man. Yeah, them wars. African-American culture. You know, I love African-American culture. You know, I stand up for African-American culture.
You sure do.
You
always have. You always have.
Yeah, I love African-American
You always have.
Yeah.
You always have. And you helped me to understand. Because remember, I was going all the way in. Remember, Ankh, I'm going all the way in. And I just remember you saying, like, don't lose yourself. Like, it's okay to love Africa. You know what I mean? It's okay to love Africa. It's okay to love the source. But, you know, understand that you have a culture and you have a lineage over here. You know what I mean? That you should always honor, you know, and never, you know, So Ankh was, and then Ankh, we started talking about, remember we were talking about the brothers that wanna be, you know, ancient Egyptians, you know what I mean? And we were talking about them, and you were like, nah, you know, we're not trying to be ancient Egyptians, or I'm not trying to be a Yoruba woman, or you trying to be a Yoruba man. Like, we over here. You get what I'm saying? We're here, you know, and we need to embrace, you know, who we are here in this context. But again, it's nothing wrong with showing love to the source.
Nah,
but understand that, you know, that we here. You know what I mean? Baba, I mean, what it do in the Baltimore tongue? What it do, Baba?
I'm gonna come back with some Texas. What up, though? You know what I'm saying? What up, though? You know what it do? What it do? How y'all feeling?
Hey, we good.
Yeah, we good, Baba. We good.
Man,
What you been up to,
been on
Baba?
in a minute. You know, just out here building, empowering black children to succeed, empowering black families to educate their children, and you know, shout out to my whole team yesterday. We call it the Black to School Readiness Camp yesterday. We touched the neighborhood yesterday. Shout out to the House of Hathor. Had about 25 young people come through and taught them some history, got them some school supplies, did some scenarios, life skills, fed them, had a good time in the neighborhood yesterday.
Beautiful.
So I'm on cloud 9 today.
Beautiful, Baba. Good, beautiful to hear. Beautiful to hear. And someone in the chat just said no Pan-African scams. That's like an oxymoron, right? Because people who are Pan-Africanists, they not scamming. You get what I'm saying? So call it something else. Call it Scan-Africanism or something else. But,
what?
You know, you can't say Pan-African scams, because people who are true to Pan-African ideology, they're not out here scamming. You get what I'm saying? But the folks who are trying to, I guess, mask, or their beliefs or whatever, their ideology as Pan-Africanism, or pitch it, that's not really Pan-Africanism. That is a scam. I just wanted to put that out there, because I feel like people like Umar Johnson gives Pan-Africanism a bad rap. And Brother Ankh, you and I talk about that. Even folks who claim to be Afrocentric or African-centered, the type of things that they put out there, they give it a bad, but you know what? Let's keep it a buck. That's like any ideology or any institution. You get what I'm saying? I could look at the church and say, well, I ain't going over there because that pastor did this, or I ain't going to that mosque because that what do they call him? Masjid. What do they call him, Baba?
Masjid.
Masjid. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did that, or the Caliph did this. So you can find that in any type of ideology. You always find the bad fruits. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's a con artist in every group. It's a con artist in every group. You know, and that's just a part of it. You know, the Christian church is the template for spiritual standing.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and so that's what you're out with people who are not Pan-Africanists. Like, yeah, Pan-African scam, and what I mean, you're already getting scammed over there on the left. You know, so what you talking about? You know, we bringing everything we had out there, we bring in here.
That's right.
So that's just what it is. Don't let the name change fool you.
Right, exactly. So I thought, Bob, I had to hit you up. I hit Ankh
Yes.
up today, and I was like, look,
Yeah.
y'all, I want to build on this whole idea of African Diasporan wars. Like, you hear this, like if you go to YouTube and you just type in African Diasporan wars,
Right.
a plethora of YouTube videos are going to populate, right? And because this is a new thing now, people keep saying it's a war between, African ethnicities, basically. So those of us who are here in America, those of us who are in with our brothers and sisters in the UK, our brothers and sisters in Europe, our brothers and sisters on the continent. So they're saying that it's a war going on. But to be honest with you, Baba, Amin, and Brother Ankh, people who are really doing the work, we know it's really not a war going on. It may be something going on social media,
Right.
and some people fueling that foolishness on social media. But people who have boots on the ground, who actually travel to different places, it's not a war going on. Every time I've gone to Africa, I've been embraced for the most part. Did I have some hiccups? Brother Ankh will tell you. Remember Brother Ankh, what happened at the Elmina Castle?
Yeah, you about to get kicked out the country. Yeah, go ahead. What?
So, I had a couple of hiccups, here and there, but for the most part, wherever I've gone, I've been embraced. Whether it's in the UK, whether it's in Europe, or on the continent, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Egypt, in the Caribbean. I spent some time in Jamaica. I was out there for a few weeks. I've never, this war that everyone is saying is happening. It's happening on social media. And so that's my take on it. For those of us who have boots on the ground that are really doing the work, we're locking arms, we're locking hands with brothers and sisters across the diaspora to do this work. So I just have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. It's the social media, and those folks. But brothers, what are your thoughts about, this whole idea of African diasporan wars? What do you think about that?
You go ahead. You go first.
Okay. Well, I think to me it's just an extension of the Black self-hate that many of us are dealing with worldwide anyway. I've been organizing for over 30 years, boots on the ground, and I'm trying to wonder, when did the FBA war end? You know what I'm saying? When did the African American war come to an end? When did we unify? You know what I'm saying? And so this is just an extension of that. This conversation is just an extension of some self-hate and a division that's already there. It's just now it's on social media being pumped up. But in my experience, I've run into those who are ideologically sound with me from the continent, from here, and we build together. But then sometimes I run into Negroes from America, and then I run into NWAs, Negroes with accents. But it's the same Negro. They just got an accent because they from over there, but it's the same miseducation. It's the same Black self-hate. It's nothing different, and so when they say the diasporan wars, as somebody that's from here, and I'm proud of so-called African-American culture, I'm proud to be from here. We do have a distinct culture over here, but as somebody from over here, I've been waiting for us to come together, and being mad at another group, that don't mean that the group you in has unity. So I'm not interested unless we have some kind of unity going on, because ain't nobody going down to the school board. They still ain't teaching your FBA child nothing about FBAs in school. You ain't shutting a Korean woman down that's selling you $1,000 dead hair off of Indian women's heads. They still making multi-billions of dollars. When is that war gonna start? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's easy to, and when you Black and you suffer from Black self-hate, it's real easy to have a Black enemy. It's real easy. That's the easiest enemy for us to have, is somebody else that look like us.
Yeah, absolutely. Brother Ankh, what's your take on it? That was powerful, Baba. What's your take on it, Brother Ankh?
I mean, it's been a riff. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Go ahead.
It's been a riff between African Americans and Africans in the diaspora and continental Africans. It's a riff. And sometimes, they want to treat us like second-class citizens, right? And the fact that some of us don't understand our culture, we allow that to seep in. And people get offended when you classify, watch this, continental Africans as Africans. Some of them have their own tribal clan names.
That's true.
And African Americans, I mean, we've been through a lot. We say you black, we say you this. They be like, nah, right? We don't allow them to be who they are. And then they think they better than us. But see, I'm not African because I was born in Africa, right? I'm African because Africa was born in me. You know what I'm saying? Like my very genes go back to Africa. Fundamentally speaking, all humans are African.
African,
you know
yeah.
Right?
Facts.
So the fact that they would put their thing up here and our thing down here is where the riff is a lot of times, Doc. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? When we are on par with everybody, matter of fact, we have become the standard. That's why it's horrible when we act a fool at times, because everybody's watching. Everybody want to be like us. This new population of Africans, you know what I'm saying, that came up out the ashes. That's in our story, the Phoenix story. When you rise about the ashes, we the new thing on the block, man. We went through colonialism, been through Jim Crow, civil rights movement, and we stand tall with African-American culture that incorporates old indigenous ways. Your grandmother and them still do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
with brand new African-American style in the music. Yo, we spawn music, instruments, right? We're a serious group of dudes, and we don't even recognize this. That's another problem. Once you recognize who you is, you ain't even got a riff with continental Africans. You don't have a problem with saying, yeah, you might not see yourself as being African. That's a continent. Well, what is your tribal name? Can you explain it to me?
Right.
Can you educate me on that? And you can, education will break down the riff, but it's a damn riff. They swear they better than us. We know we better than them. You ain't got no shoes. You ain't got that. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like the cultural differences. You know what I'm saying? In parts of the world, clothes aren't as important as they may be to the African American. Some African tribes aren't fully clothed. That's their thing, right? That's part of having shoes on is not their thing. Okay? It's just so it's different cultures in this education, man. What I will not allow is Europeans to jump in the middle. Get out the way. We can handle this conversation. So go ahead, Doc. That's
no. I'm with you, and that's why I said, I've had, and I with you and Baba. I mean, and both of you made some really good points. Like he said, I mean, when you say the riff though, because you're saying it is a riff with whom, because I've had, like I said, I've had my little spats, but I can't collect it. Like it wasn't like. I don't even want to quantify it. I've had my thing, and like I said, Brother Ankh, there may be one or two over here. So, for example, here in Baltimore, I remember going to a daggone post office and getting into it with a Nigerian woman, right?
Oh man,
yeah, I got into it with her bad, and she looked at me and she said, "You slave, me, I'm African, you slave." And Ankh, I don't want to tell you all my reaction, okay?
I already know that.
I think I told you, right? I think I may have told you, but I'm not going to say it. Look, we online, so I'm not going to say what my reaction was to what she said, but I matched her energy. You know what I mean? I matched her energy physically. And, she said something verbally that offended me, and I lashed back. And I'm not condoning that type of behavior. I went home and told my family what happened, and they were like, "You shouldn't have did that. Maybe the police going to be knocking at our damn door. You shouldn't have did it." You know what I mean? But I was like, she called me a slave, and she, so anyway. So I had an incident with them. I also had an incident with I text you, Bob, about it. Me and the brothers over in the UK. Right. We got our thing back straight. No, it was Europe, because they're in Paris, they're in France. And so, one of the brothers, he and I had a disagreement in Ankh, you remember, and he said, "Black Americans, y'all are arrogant, And so I said, okay, so you have a misperception of African Americans. You think we arrogant, but I'm just holding you accountable for what you did. And then you lash out. And then you not only lash out and say that Black Americans are arrogant, you actually lashed out and said you felt like you were more African than African Americans because you were born on the continent. You see what I'm saying? So he and I got back, he and I got into it. So like I said, I've had my differences with certain individuals, but based on my differences with them, or, incidents, based on these incidents, I wouldn't say overall, I think it's a rift between us and them, because I've had certain encounters with certain people. So what are your thoughts on that? Because you're saying I think it's a riff. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But what are you using to gauge that it's an actual riff?
I'm saying the riff is actually growth. And I'm saying, let's talk about the standard of the day. Colonial powers, European nations. Man, they've been riffing forever, man. It's the riff. Out of the riff comes growth, where one group is just going to be better than the next group. That's part of being Homo sapiens sapiens. So we're not going to sit here and think that we don't have riffs. We do, because we're human. No more than any other group, though. I don't like that, right? There's no, and when you go to Asia, right? Caucasus Asia, Europe is in Asia. There's no one way to be Asians, right? There's plenty of riffs, right? Okay. Right. And that's part of being human. Nobody has that problem. And you never classify them all as being the same. You never say the Chinese is a European. You never say that, right? You really never say the British and the French. They two different groups of people. They may be genetically tied, but they don't know that before the advent of mapping human genome. They don't know that. So we're no different than anybody else. When you go to Africa, you say Africa. No, they're different clans, different tribes, different nations, different business practices. They all got their own thing. African Americans got their own thing. So the riff is really the fight for, my clan, my group, my nation is better than yours. That's all it really is. And they really be hating, though, Doc. See, they hate the fact that we can stand here right now on the internet. I can go ahead and grab me some nice water. I can cross my legs. You know what I mean? You gotta get the kid, Georgia. Yeah, that's what my graduated from. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people be really hating, right? And we done been through so much to be able to get you to the point where you can start a damn school, right? You can put together all the daggone camps with STEM. I can sit up here and run my mouth and have fun and be right there with y'all, right? And enjoy saying, hey, I don't care where you from. You are invited to the STEM camp. Some people just hate that, Doc. They hate the fact, but they never recognize what the hell we went through. We lost our identity. Okay. Now, continental Africans, they were colonized, but they still got their language intact if they so choose. They choose, after you throw colonialism out, right? Y'all chose to keep that right here. That was on y'all. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying now, see, right now, when we talk about the guy from Burkina Faso, y'all two sitting here saying, that seemed like a given what he doing now. That's an easy thing to do. Let me pick who I want to deal with, who gives me the best chance at business. What colonial power should I choose? I choose this, I choose that. Should have been made that choice. Whoever can make sure that my clan, my tribe, my nation is right, I'm going to choose that. We've been through that, though, Doc. We've been through a lot. We've been through more than the average people need. We've been through traumatic experiences. I don't think y'all get this, man. And sometimes pressure will bust pipes, right? But pressure make diamonds. We sitting here looking at the brand new diamond, right? That brand new diamond will be a light to the rest of the African world, right? Where you think the Burkina Faso president is getting a lot of these ideas from? Watching podcasts, watching people who speaking about Africa, what you should do, how you should pick this and choose. Man, I'm saying, so it's a copycat world. We're going to be a beacon for the rest of Africa. And this riff, man, it's supposed to be a riff. I just feel like African Americans is the best version in Africa in a long times. That's how I feel. Since the Nile Valley population, since West African reached the daggone golden age, I just feel like, yo, we the vaccine, mRNA vaccine, that's a sister, African American style. I don't know what to say. This man right here built a school from a daggone shopping center, and I seen it with my own eyes. With my own eyes. I'm not sitting here making it up. It was RBG weekend is when I met you.
Yes, sir.
He's like, yo, we got to go to the school. What school? We got you, nigga, you going. All right. I go in this man teaching. From nowhere, though.
Right.
Look at you, Doc. I know where you came from. Used to write me from prison. What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about here?
You was in distrust of humanity. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Calling you a snitch, calling you that. You come from being all the way down to the ground. Okay, you already had your doctorate degree. I mean, you got stripped for some shit that's legal now. Think about that.
Come on, that part.
Can you get that time back? Them stories you told me about in jail? You can't get that back. Hey, you got to boss up. Really? I'm like, wow. And then how we kept it away from people because they didn't understand that. You feel me? And then fools use it against you. Come on, man. You know how much we done been through just to give people real information? Giving honest critiques, man. Nah. Yeah, I definitely feel like we the best. Now what? That's how I feel. And I love continental African, diaspora Africans. But this is one thing that I've learned from watching Europeans. Sometimes they'll click up with you, and then sometimes they won't. It's based off of what you're trying to get done. So we got to take the same thing. So if people in the continent ain't willing to help us in our struggles and vice versa, then maybe it's not our time to hook up, right? Because it's business now. We trying to get our reparations, right? This is another point, and I'm gonna finish. We want to get our reparations. Some people don't say it right. They don't say it right about the pan-Africanists, diaspora. Why should a diaspora African get the money that's owed to us? Now, if it was left to me, y'all can get all the money y'all want because I don't care how we get white people money. I'm not telling if you sneak it in, but for business purposes, we have to find a way to make sure that people that was descended of slaves in America get that money. It's just business. Nobody in their right mind gonna pay somebody that didn't go through that right here. It's just bad business. And the fact that other people don't even see that, bro, I'm saying they hating, Doc.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Because for me, if you could get some reparations, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I'm before you. I'm saying, yup. I ain't gonna say, yo, why you ain't trying to include me there, yo? I'm not gonna say that.
And then some of these, and this is no shot again at the brothers and sisters in the diaspora, but then you have some continental Africans who in diasporan Africans who are actually sitting on reparations board here in the States and will oppose it. You know, like I'm talking about, they're on reparations boards in New York and in California, and that they actually are in opposition to reparations for Black Americans. And someone can go and fact check me. It's a fact. Some of them are actually on boards right now, preventing us from moving forward with reparations. And like you said, in this thing, go ahead.
You know what's deep? All that shit I just said, when you take your ass to Africa, it was open arms when you get on the ground together. That's the crazy part. When you look each other eye to eye and have conversations and you realize the human struggle that they going through with their government, and they realize the human struggle that we going through without government, yo, that's when friendships are made. But see, you're a traveler, you're a world traveler. You got a little different insight into this, man. You might beef, and when you sit down and talk to each other, because that's what stopped wars. Y'all know that, right? Two parties come together and have conversation, realize, man, we're going through the same thing you're going through. I just wanted to put that out there. With all I just said,
absolutely.
When y'all sit down at the table, yo, hey, family, hey, you know how, hey.
So I hear what you're saying. When you're saying a riff, you're not saying that everybody's included. Like, you're not saying it's all inclusive. You're just saying that it's there, that it exists.
It's real.
You know? Yeah, it's real and it exists.
Because we can make our own shirts, we can make our own dance move, we can hit that mic and there be a little hate there. Don't hate, just participate.
No, that's what's up. And so it even, let me tell you, this social media is powerful. When I was over in London and Paris with Baba Browder, and I was over there, you know, with him, I told you, Ankh, I was at the British Museum, right? So I'm at the British Museum, and there was a brother, and there was a tour guide. And again, y'all, I'm not taking shots at the tour, nothing. So I don't want y'all, oh, Dr. Ma taking shots. I'm just telling you what happened. So we went to the British Museum while we were in London, and I noticed that the tour guide was parroting old information, Baba. You know what I'm saying? Some old, outdated stuff. He was saying things like on the glyphs depicted ancient Egyptians doing yoga. And, you know, over here, our scholars put that to rest, a decade ago. They were like, nah, it ain't no such thing as Kemetic yoga. Like that's Ankh and them say that's pseudo. But even Dr. Malana Karenga even put that to rest. When I last interviewed him, he was like, just say, you want to do yoga, but you ain't got to be calling it Kemetic yoga, all that other stuff. Right. And saying that it's on the glyphs, that these were yoga poses, right? So he said that. And another thing that he said was he was talking about what happened in the Cairo Symposium. And he was saying that Sheikh Anta-Diop never got his just due for proving that the ancient Egyptians were indigenous Africans. And so I told him, I said, brother, that's not true. I said, in the Met Museum, brother Ankh, do you have that up?
The Met.
Yeah, can you bring that up with Sheikh Anti-Joke? But I said, in the Met Museum, I said, they got I said, in the Met Museum, they have an entire exhibit, honoring Sheikh Anti-Joke. For his contributions. Like, they realized, he was the one that proved that, the ancient Egyptians were indigenous Africans. These were Africans that came out of the interior of Africa. Right. And so I made the comment, I said, you all need to update your information. Why did Dr. Ma'at say that? Oh my gosh, a brother got mad with me. Y'all think y'all better. Now, this connects to the whole social media. Y'all think y'all better than us. Whole conversation. Y'all think y'all Black Americans. Y'all think we slow. Y'all think y'all better. And I'm looking at this brother, Baba. I mean, I said, brother, where you getting this stuff from? And guess what he said, Baba?
Well,
social media.
Social media.
Yeah, I was on social media, and I said, brother, I said, let me say this to you. I said, the average Black American is not thinking about you in Britain. No, they're not thinking about our brothers and sisters in British, let alone to think that we even better. They're not even thinking about you. I said, secondly, brother, I'm just talking about the information. I'm saying that you need to update your information. This is not an attack on brothers and sisters in the British Museum. I mean, sorry, brothers and sisters in the UK. I'm just simply saying that your information is outdated and you need to update it. I said, no different than it's times, Baba. I mean, you and I would talk about things. Brother Ankh, come on, Doc, you got to update this. You can't, brother Ankh telling me, Doc, don't put that in the paper. I know you got that from Dr. Browder. I know you got that from Anthony Browder, now valid contributions, but they didn't quite prove that pyramid was aligned with those stars. I'm telling you, let me send you the new homework on it. And I just said, first I hit him. I ain't gonna lie. I was arguing with him tooth and nail. No, send me another reference because this ain't it. So brother Ankh sent me 5 references, right? Then he finally sent me one that I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. And so anyway, my point though, Baba, is I wasn't attacking him or attacking any of the brothers and sisters, in the UK or in Europe. I was just simply saying you got to update your information. But I say that social media is powerful because he's looking at social media and in his mind, he's thinking that we are over here thinking we're better than them, or we think they're slow, or we think, and I said, come on, brother. And he gave me a hug after I explained these two things to him. We're not thinking about you, right? We're not thinking about you, and then especially to think that we're better. The average person is not thinking about that. The average person in America, the average Black America's over here grinding, trying to pay bills, trying to survive, trying to make a better life. Yeah, so we're not over here thinking that. And he just grabbed me, brother Ankh and Baba Amin, and he gave me a hug, gave me a kiss. He said, "You right, sister. I'm sorry. I was looking at social media." So social media is also, I say all that to say, social media is also fueling this whole idea of African diasporan wars. You get what I'm saying? There also is, is a lot of this. They're pulling this from social media, brother Ankh.
So I would like to just correct you on one thing, Doc.
Go ahead.
It was actually our work on the internet. ENROLL squad that actually got cussed out. You might not remember for saying,
I remember that.
Damn, that ain't no daggone y'all tripping, right? That's what we do. You know why we do that?
But brother Ankh, I did say that we alongside Dr. Karanga. He just came recently and said it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he late to the party on that, and I like some of his work, right?
Oh yeah, I love his work.
But this internet thing, we stand right there, like we's the first to really start correcting. And you know why we correct bad information or information that the elders had? Because we actually stand on their shoulders. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. We stand on the shoulders of the elders. Stand on the shoulders of John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, John Jackson, Hubert Harrison. Right? And I stand on their shoulders, meaning that I can see what they can't see because I'm standing on their shoulders. And the mistakes they made, I can see it because now it's more available information. So I'm standing on their shoulders and I'm only promoting the things that was right. I'm not promoting things that's wrong. Most people stand and look in their daggone face and mark and bird everything they say. But guess what? That is disrespectful to our elders because our elders knew as long as they could keep fighting, right, that they could get some people that could stand on our shoulders and get it right. They never wanted you to repeat the same thing that they were saying, man. Nobody had. That's what valuable nations and communities do. They stand on the shoulders of their elders. You get rid of the things that does not help the community because it's a trial and error thing, Doc. It's trial and error, just like with your grandmother. She gonna make mistakes with your mother, and then your mother gonna stand on her shoulders and give you better things. And look what we got, voila, right? So now for me and my family, right, all my kids have went to college so far. That ain't what happened in the generation. Me and my sister ended up going later on, right? I went and left, but I got kids that have completed. You know why? Because I'm standing on the shoulders of my mother. Now, if I stood there and looked in her face and said everything that she said, did everything she did, where's the growth at, Doc? Where's the growth?
Where's the growth?
So, yeah,
where's the growth?
we don't think we better. We just really want to stand on their shoulders.
That's right.
We love Dr. Ben, but some things is not accurate today based off more information, and that's it. People get mad. Oh man, y'all disrespecting the elders, y'all disrespecting Diops. No, that's not true. So put that back up though, Doc. That's the thing that they show you. This is an honor right here. This is an honor. This is clearly an honor. It's the African origin of civilization. Right. They was fighting that back in 1974, man. What do you mean the African origin of civilization? That's nonsense. They was all in Sumer somewhere.
Right.
Right? It says scholars today recognize Africa as the source of our common ancestry, but in 1974, the Senegalese scholar,
let's go. Come on.
And humanist Chigante Diop shocked and challenged historians by asserting the influence of ancient African civilizations in his groundbreaking book, African Origin Civilization, Myth and Reality. It said the exhibition pays homage to Diops by presenting a masterpieces from museums collection from West to Central Africa alongside art from ancient Egypt for the first time in the Met's history, man. So yeah, they big up this man, right?
Exactly.
And he got his just due at the Cairo Symposium, which was actually a scientific international conference. So there wasn't a winner or a loser. At scientific conferences, people come and present their ideas and it's debated. And after the debate for a few years, they end up publishing this. See, people don't know that. So in scientific conferences, they publish different works after the conference, like this, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
But we call it the conference proceedings. That's what comes out of it.
See?
You know, the proceedings. You know what I mean?
See, so the community got that wrong. That's the point. And it's our job to correct it. It wasn't a win or lose thing.
No.
It was the fact that they was invited, right? And they prepared papers. Like before you get in the conference, you have to write an outline, right? They tell you what you're supposed to have, and they tell you that these guys prepared papers that was par excellent. That the conversation was in balance. Because guess what? Guess what they really did, Doc? And only we talk about it. Let's really talk about what Diaspora Bill Foulbanger did and Walter Riley really did. Guess what they did? They caused Europeans, one, to recognize Egypt as an indigenous African civilization, and two, them white boys was like, "That's what y'all gonna do, really? Y'all bringing linguistics, y'all bringing archaeology, y'all bringing
history,
y'all bringing the Bible, how's y'all bringing all that stuff?" They was like, "You know what? I think we need to start looking at it from interdisciplinary way of seeing things." See what I'm saying? That's what they really did. For the first time, they actually made them realize, hey, man, you here, let's bring all that together to tell the picture. That's their real crowning jewel. But nobody wants to talk about that. Oh, yeah, they just was black. Man, that's not the crust of what they really did was they caused people to bring an interdisciplinary study to the table, right? It's right there if you read it. And guess what, Doc? I realized that niggas ain't even read that. Excuse my language. Nobody even read the work. How about that? So
just repeating what they heard, like you said, not really reading the work, just repeating it. You know, like the telephone game, just repeating it.
That's a lot of people on social media are on repeat. You know, they're just repeating talking points that's gonna get them some extra clicks and views. You know, and so if you engage in some sort of diasporan war or whatever, I'm like you, riffs are natural. I love it because it sparks conversation. It's an opportunity to teach. It's an opportunity to learn, especially with this current war, because most of the arguments I see ain't really based on historical fact. You know, it's a lot of it's based on feelings, you know, and so now it's an opportunity to spark, okay, who are we then? Since we saying, you know, where are your roots? Where do you come from? What is that? What do you know about that? Because if you're going to be representing something, you need to know something about it.
That's right.
You know, and so that's the only thing with me. My prayer is that it gets to that point, and that's how I like to get engaged in it, because I'm like, well, what's your frame of reference? Why should I be a proud Black American or African American? You know, what our history starts in slavery, and I want somebody. I need to know if you can debunk that. I need to know if you know enough about who we are to where if we send you out there to represent us, can you stand on that? Or will you be eaten alive because you don't know our story? Can somebody convince you that you are an Akata? Can somebody convince you that you are a second-class citizen when they put that mirror up to you and show you how we treat each other like we second-class citizens? So can you stand on it? Same with continental Africans. You know, if your name, you accept George. if you accept George as your first name, it's hard for me. You can't come step to me about no continental African pride. You still represent European culture, as far as I'm concerned. So what we arguing over? Who's the best slave? We argue it's better to be. I was civilized by the British. Well, I was civilized by the aristocrats in America. My civilizer was better than your civilizer. You know, what are we arguing about? You know what I'm saying? White people love us more than they love you. No, white people love us more than they love you. Is that what the argument is? Because a lot of us don't know enough about ourselves to really launch a good argument over which culture is better, who's number one. You can come with frame of references. Average African American can't do that.
No.
Stop when I'm right. I've only been teaching for 30 years. Yeah, you can't. The average continental African. I've had Ghanaian textbooks, modern Ghanaian history textbooks sent to me. They still teach that Europeans came and civilized them. They still learn that in school.
I believe, Bob. I mean, you go over to Ghana.
You go over to Ghana. That's in the textbook now. You know, we thank Colonel John such and such for coming and bringing us Jesus and teaching us how to eat with a fork and shit. All that stuff is still in the textbook. They learn that today. When we talk to our students in Africa, they don't know nothing about themselves.
Taught you how to eat with
that's a fact. That's a fact.
They don't know nothing about themselves.
That's
when
a fact.
They go, I have African students or students on the continent. Their parents be like, they don't learn any of this in school. Thank you, Baba. We had no idea. I'm teaching ancient Ghana, the original one. Wagadu. And they don't know about that.
No, real talk. And Baba, Baba, when I went over to, schools in Cameroon, schools in Ghana, man, and they're bilingual schools, they're not even teaching those students their indigenous languages or the language of their ethnicity, the ethnic language. They actually teach them, they learn English and they learn either like French, so they don't even teach their own language. Like you said, they don't know their history. When I was in Ghana and I asked the students, I said, how many of you are aware of the African origins of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics? And everybody's hand was down, So like you said, they don't even know their own, their own history. They don't know the achievements that happened on the continent. They have no clue, Baba. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no clue, man. And we got to be careful on our side that we don't cut our roots off too short, in our pride, because we are a unique group of African people. My wife did her DNA and it came back four different tribes, right? And that's something that makes us new. That's something that makes us unique because many of us here are a combination of different bloodlines.
We are.
You know what I'm saying? Which puts us in a unique position to call for global unity because we have global unity in our DNA, right? But at the same time, as we embrace being so-called African Americans or Black Americans, we don't want to cut off our roots as if our history began here, because our history does not begin here.
No,
right?
It doesn't.
And I know there's those out there. Brother called me the other day. You called me a Black man, and it made me cringe because I know my bloodline. We was never enslaved here, and we got our land here, and that's fine, brother. You maybe didn't come over on the boat. You know what I'm saying? But you melanated. You know what I'm saying? Your bloodline is still going to jump off this continent and head across the Atlantic at some point, right? And so we have to be careful that we don't, in our thirst to be more than something we've taught is less. Like a lot of times we say, we're not just Black. You're acting like when you find out you are more, you got an upgrade. When you find out you're indigenous, you got an upgrade. Why is it an upgrade? What is wrong with being of African descent? Right? And we have to stop looking for upgrades and recognize that you're already precious the way you are. Whatever you are is divine. So as we search for identity, let's stop searching for identity with the mindset that I need an upgrade from what I already am. If that makes sense, right?
No, it makes perfect sense, Baba.
That
it makes perfect sense.
So a lot of times that argument is really an argument of out of ego, not out of knowledge. It's just out of ego. Instinctively, I got to defend myself. But when you're away from that argument, what are you doing to affirm yourself?
That's right.
So that's right. How I judge it.
No, you're right, Baba. You're right. Hold on. I want to show something too. I want to pull up something real quick in the words of the young people. You know, they say pull up. So I want to go back to Sheik Anti-Joke, right, really quickly, because Brother Ankh and I, we were having this conversation, and I was telling him when I went over to the British Museum that they separate Africa. So when they say Africa, they separate Egypt from Africa. So even though, like you said, in the Met Museum, there's an exhibit where they honor, you know, Sheik Anti-Joke's contributions, right, or his discovery, or his you know, they just honor him in his contributions to, you know, I guess we would say reconstructing African history, right? But in the British Museum, they still separate Egypt from Africa, right? And I remember calling Ankh up, and I was like, Ankh, I said, I'm over here at the British Museum. I think I either called you there or when I got back. And I said,
you called me over there because you told me.
Yeah, I was like, they had, so when they say Africa, they're talking about West Africa. Right. And I'm gonna put out a video and show you all, when you go to the British Museum, Africa, when they think of Africa, they think of West Africa. They have a lot of artifacts. Like they're thinking about West, Central, and South. Right. But Egypt, it has a whole nother space. So Egypt is upstairs and Africa is literally downstairs. Okay. On the bottom floor. Ankh, you said you had the map that you can show.
Got the map. Yep. Here you go. Let me show that. Boom. Boom. All right, here we go. You see it?
That's the floor plan right there, family.
Floor plan. Here you go. This is the ground floor. All right. Ground floor. And they're going to tell you everything that's in this area right here. All right. It says you got the Americas in room 26, Mexico 27. You got ancient Egypt. Okay. Then you got ancient Greece and Rome, Asia, and Middle East. Right. All on that what floor? On that ground floor. There you go. And so when you come out of one room, you go into another room. You're right there. And so they got it actually in like classified with like classical civilizations, what they consider to be. All right. And I found this to be very, very interesting. Right. And then as you move on, you got
yeah, keep going. Because I don't know if that's an old floor plan. And let me tell you why. Because when we went up to ancient Egypt, we had to go up like four sets of steps to go up there. When we were in the go ahead.
This is the upper floor. Here you go.
Oh, look. Okay. My bad.
Here you go. Ancient Egypt. See.
Okay, got you. So yep, you're on the top floor. Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say the low.
Here you go. It's two. Yeah, it's two things. Look, they got. It's called the ground floor, and then you go to the upper floor, like you said.
Yes, there you go. Yep.
Then they really get into it right here. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And ancient Egypt, ancient Greece and Rome, Middle East and all that. And then you got to come here. The lower level. Lonely Africa.
Wow.
The lonely Africa. And to be honest with you, Doc, I know sometimes we have to, because people overuse stuff. That's colonialism. But the only reason why they would even separate Egypt from Africa is colonial reasons. There's no other reason for that. And it's a money thing. How many white people want to donate to Africa? Think about that. Who want to actually go to a museum, donate to a museum, and it be in Africa? So you got millions of dollars, right, dealing with this thing. It's a whole mind shift that Diaps and them brought forward, though, right? And these things are actually connected. And, you know, I just don't throw it out there like that. So the floor plans is based off of old colonial models.
Absolutely.
All right, based off of donations, based off of like, I just can't imagine Egypt being in Africa. They couldn't envision a world. Remember, at that point, we enslaved, right? So they couldn't envision a world where they slaves was actually smarter than them. As a matter of fact, when they went to Egypt, it's accounts, they be saying stuff like, well, yeah, those Nubians, you know what I'm saying, they're slaves to the Egyptians, just like our Negroes. You feel me? They're numerous. So it's amazing how they do that, Doc. So yes, that's the old colonial model right there. So
No,
now
absolutely.
So go ahead.
No, I wanted to show the folks that I was over there because you know how the young folks would be like, y'all capping. Now, this is me right outside the British Museum. Right there. Right out there. Look, and then Brother Ankh, I had an opportunity to see the Rosetta Stone, you know, so I took that picture, you know, with my actual, you know, with my phone. And then it was so packed in there, Brother Ankh, that I couldn't take a picture in front of the Rosetta Stone. So you see all the people, right? Like in the front and behind. So I could take a picture on the side because there was just too many people in there. But yeah, this is me beside the Rosetta Stone. And then this is us going into the basement. We're going, like, I'm literally going down. You see, this is upstairs. I had to go downstairs to get into the gallery for Africa. So, you know, I was going down the steps and I was like, oh, let me take a picture, you know, just to get into the African gallery. So this is it. So we were there. You know, I don't want people to think like, you know, she wasn't really there. Like, yeah, we were over there and I saw it with my own eyes. And I even said something to the tour guide and he said, I never thought of that. I was like, yeah, why do they separate, you know, Egypt from Africa? You know, and he said, daggone, Doc, I didn't think about it that way, you know, but I was in my world. So I'm just looking around, just taking it all in. And I made that observation while I was there. And he's like, damn, I didn't even notice that.
The tour guide didn't notice that? What?
Literally, the tour guide said, I don't want to throw his name out there, but the tour guide literally said he never thought of it. You know, he just went to Egypt, you know, he went to the Egyptian section, went to the African section, but he never thought like, why are these sections separated from one another, you know? And I said something while we were there and he was like, good observation, but no, he never thought of it. But I want to move the conversation into the whole idea of Black Americans don't have any culture. You know, that whole idea, could you build on that? You know, that this whole idea that Black Americans don't have a culture. And when people say that, Brother Ankh, I'm like, you don't even understand what culture is, you know, to say that this particular ethnicity, right, doesn't have a culture. But let's talk about that, Brother Ankh. What are your thoughts when you hear people say Black Americans don't have a culture?
I mean, we Africanize or African Americanize everything we do. Like, for instance, Christianity. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? No, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the way African Americans practice Christianity, man,
right,
it's different than when you go to Catholic church.
It is.
Or white church. And it's very odd for an African American to have a white preacher. Right? That's a very odd thing. You're like, man, really? That's how you feeling? Right? And the way we do it is if we stay in church longer, hours on out, we sing, song, dance, right? We bring a lot of custom and traditions that came from Africa, the song, the dance, the storytelling, right? The way the preacher do it is African American style. Okay, the way our storytelling ability, right? So our culture is based in that. So we take ideas from the old world, right, and create new ideas in the new world. And I can stand on this. The first African slaves, they really wasn't into Christianity. It was illegal to practice their own custom and traditions. They carry their totems. They wouldn't let them do it. So they actually hid their African custom and traditions inside of Christianity. They hid the thing so well, man, that next generations that moved forward actually thought that we was really going to Christianity. We really wasn't, right? And this is why I'm saying this. The hardest thing for people to accept is other people's religion, because religion is really an ancestral shrine to ancestors, to your lineage, your custom, to your tradition, to your folklore. And to change that out, man, people are very, very resistant to that. So we was very resistant to it. They made it illegal to practice our own thing, right? So that's one item, right? The way we cook, the way we add spices to foods, the way we do things, right? We bring fried chicken and all that. You can find that in West Africa. the way we prepare the chitlins, right? The way we cut all the pieces off the pig. All these things is an African-American thing, African-American cuisine. The way we do our greens and putting the stuff in it, whether it's Southern or Northern. This is all part of our culture. The way we talk, African-American, we have our own dialect. The way we speak, it's regional, okay? That's African-American, the way we speak. And people try to say, well, you don't speak English right. Well, last time I checked, Americans don't speak the Queen's English.
Hell, the damn white Americans don't either.
Right, they speak broken English too. I'm just saying the way they frame our thing.
Yeah, that's true.
White Americans speak broken English. African Americans speak African American dialect. You feel me? So
absolutely.
That's also language, music. We created how many music forms?
Oh my goodness, blues. Yeah, rhythm and blues, country. Blues. Yeah, jazz.
Cowboys, the first cowboys.
Hip hop.
Sure, African Americans. How do they know? Because they checked the DNA of the cows. A lot of the cows came from Africa. Okay, all right, it's right there for you. And we was cow herders in Africa. That's not a stretch. That's right there. So no one fights you on these things when you're right and exact on it. So we have a rich custom and traditions right here in America, and we should just stand on that. Yeah, we've developed a whole new thing in America because that's what Homo sapiens sapiens do. They move, they populate different areas, and based off of the population in the area, you got new plants, new rivers, new oceans, new animals, new foods, and you develop a whole new culture. And that's what we did. So I'm proud of African American culture. There's just some things that's being highlighted these days that record companies do that we need to slow down, right? Like you can't always promote shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I know I like listening to it, but that can't be at the forefront.
Why you gonna say I like listening to it? You're gonna say I can't
man, that's part of being an African American, man. You know it ain't right. You know you need to change it. But I think we do enough work to make sure we, But yeah, we have a rich culture, Doc.
No, absolutely. We have a rich culture. We got a rich culture and we got a rich history. And when people think about culture, it's just really a totality of a group's, beliefs, values, practices. You get what I'm saying? Their worldview. And so to say that an ethnic group that it took over 400 or 500 years to form, to say that they're without culture is bananas. Like, what do you think we're practicing? You think we're practicing European culture, or you think we're practicing Asian culture? Like, what do you like? What do you think? And I'm thinking about Dr. Amos Wilson right now. He defines African American or Black American culture in his book Blueprint for Black Power. He says it's really an amalgamation, he said, of African culture, right, mixed right along with, he said, American culture. You see what I'm saying, Ankh? And then what is American culture? You know what I mean? Like it's because we contributed to that as well, brother Ankh, because American, you can't leave black folks out of American culture.
We built it, right? The artists, the math, we talked about it. The builders.
Absolutely.
I mean, man, when we in a conversation, somebody tried to say that, we was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They took the best from Africa. They didn't take the old people, yo.
No, they didn't.
Right? They took the people that could build structures.
Absolutely.
They could manage things. Picking the cotton, the rice. We was growing that.
Yeah, they said the average age was like 18 or 19. The average age of the they took.
We came with a lot to offer, man.
Yeah, so absolutely. So what is Black American culture? Is an amalgamation of American culture, which we contributed heavily to, right? And then the culture that we brought with us, from Africa. And so that's what he defines it as in the book Blueprint for Black Power. I do want to address K Fighter. You said I live in NYC, and you said, and we the largest diaspora folks than any other U.S. city. And I'm telling you, the majority diaspora don't rock with us and try to block us political move that we try to make always. I wouldn't discount your experience. If that's your experience, I don't, but to indict the entire diaspora, which is vast, brother, You know, I mean, I think you could say maybe in your particular region, this is your experience, right? But to indict all of the diaspora. So now you're talking about Caribbean folks, right? You're talking about UK, Europe, continental Africans who are in Asia right now. Those who are in Australia, you know, like you, that's really, see, I stay away from that stuff. You know what I mean? Trying to quantify it. I stay away from that. I can say based on my personal experience in my environment, this is what I've witnessed. And I think, Brother K Fighter, that's what you're saying. Like where you are, that's what you're feeling, because you might go somewhere else and it's all love. You get what I'm saying? But I do understand what you're saying. But Brother Ankh, back to this whole idea, and shout out to Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler. He literally was just having this conversation, I think yesterday or the day before. He was talking about this whole idea that people within the diaspora think that we don't have any culture. But Brother Ankh, and I remember calling you on the telephone because I'm reading this book by Dr. Gwendolyn on African ethnicities in the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a pure culture? You know, I think there's, like when you really understand what culture is, right? Like you got brothers and sisters in the Caribbean who may say, well, they don't have culture over there, but then what is Caribbean culture? Well, I can't leave out the British. I can't leave out the French. I can't leave out the Arawak speaking people. Right. And I can't leave out the Africans. You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that culture is an amalgamation of cultures, cultures. You get what I'm saying, Brother Ankh? Mm-hmm. It was not, even when you go to the continent of Africa, in the book, it talked about the Awe. I don't know if I'm butchering it, but it's EWE. I should say Awe. Yeah, I just say Awe all the time. That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, but that's how we're gonna say
it. But they lived in one particular region, and then they moved to another region, and they linked up with other cultures within that. You get what I'm saying, Brother Ankh? So who really has a culture that you just created from scratch? You get what I'm saying? And it's just standalone. It's without influence. You get what I'm saying? You
okay.
Unless you're on the moon. Go ahead, Brother Ankh. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. I mean, you get what I'm saying, Brother Ankh? If you lived in a vacuum and you were on the moon by yourself, then you could say that, my culture was uninfluenced. It was just, I just designed it all by myself. But that's not.
So humans work like this. They do some things, they run across some people that do the thing better, they incorporate that thing. That's what culture is. Culture is that. And culture is something you make your own. Okay? You make it your own. That's what you do. You fit it. Culture has to work. Right? Culture is made to help you navigate the environment you're in. Whether it be social, political, religious, it's an environment. We have developed a way to deal with religion in our culture. Right? Mm-hmm. We've developed a way to deal with people who use drugs. Right? We've developed these things, right? Because that's what a culture is. A culture is a social cultural system, okay, of dealing with your environment. If your culture don't work, you die out. African-American culture is thriving. We just need to tell, oh man, why are you selling that? Man, if we don't sell African-American culture, who the hell's supposed to? You're supposed to sell your culture. Your culture's supposed to take care of you. Right? Food, clothing, and shelter, right? Y'all just need to give that away. Wait a minute, man. Like, if we don't monetize our culture, then you're gonna let somebody else monetize your culture? Right? Hell. Funny. And I was looking at something, Doc, and I know this is not part of the daggone discussion, but this needs to be a whole show for us, right? And I'm gonna throw this idea out there for you. Oh man, what is it? Hold on. Watch this. Now I'm talking about.
I'm listening on. They in the chat going at it. God dang, brother.
Oak Bluff, Polo, Ralph Lauren. You familiar with that?
You know I am. Come on.
So listen, they got the new thing out, right? Showing African Americans, right? And they monetizing our culture, man. They selling out, man. Polo taking advantage of African Americans, man. They taking advantage of it. I don't mean like taking, but actually doing what we should be doing. So all African Americans don't just dress one way. You feel me? Some of us grew up wearing polo. Some of us grew up wearing Timberland, Ocean Pacific. Right? Going to American Eagle. That's where I shopped at. I shopped at American Eagle. I wore the cardigan sweaters. I wore the eyeglasses, the frames with no glasses in it. Right? That's how I dress. Never known to dress nowhere else. Nowhere else.
Right.
Okay. That's African American culture too. All African Americans don't dress in having tennis shoes and sweatpants. That wouldn't be true. Some of us wear suits. Been doing it since we touched down. Since we was allowed to wear suits. Right? And we wear it a different way. The way we wear it, the way we turn the collar, the way we put the shoes on, the color schemes, that's African American style. Right? So I just wanted to bring that out. That's a good conversation right there.
No, I think
that the polo that's not how they taking it. That's not true. All African Americans didn't grow up broke. That's not true. All African Americans aren't broke. And everybody does not have to acquiesce to broke culture or acquiesce to I got it from the bottom and I'm here. I'm gonna tell you, I did not come from the bottom.
I didn't grow up in the bottom either. I chose to sell weed. I didn't have to sell it. I was getting my hustle on, making my money. I didn't have to.
I didn't have to down on you.
No, I didn't have to. No,
right.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had leather 10. Yeah, I was one of the first people in, to wear the Dr. J's to school and the leather joints. You know what I'm saying? My aunt, boy, here you go, boy, take that. It was $100. So I'm not downgrading people. I remember I talked about the elements. I don't like that they over promoting, they over whooping, Doc.
Right.
Everybody didn't come from the hood, man. Y'all gotta stop lying, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all never heard me say I came from the hood. I said I walked down the street to the hood is what I said. Right?
Look, and I experienced the hood when I went to my grandmother's house. Grandma lived around the way. You know,
it's always your grandmother lived around the way, but your mother like, I'm getting the hell up out of here because that's how it was for me. Back down on Ruston Avenue where my grandmother lived at. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's the truth.
That's real.
Why do we always glorify that part of us? That's not real. I'm saying we need a healthy mix. Everybody wasn't at the bottom. African Americans, although we now they say we right there. There's Native Americans, then African Americans. We some of the poorest people. Yeah, we don't gotta be that way, right? We don't. I gotta get this steak out there. Hold on, Doc.
Yeah, go ahead. And I just want to say this for the record. While brother aren't getting his daggone steak out there. I think that a lot of continental Africans don't see us, and I'm talking about us in the diaspora, and particularly those of us who are in America, as them, because of cultural differences. But what I will say is this: African culture didn't stop in Africa. I repeat, African culture did not stop in Africa. And I think I said this earlier in the broadcast, right? When people migrate, when people move, they take their culture with them, i.e., they take their worldview, their beliefs, their values, right? Their practices, and they may have to even modify their practices because the environment changed. So for example, some brothers, the way that us over here, the way we practice Ifa, right? For some brothers and sisters who subscribe to Ifa, is not the same way they practice Ifa in Nigeria. I think some of the nuts that they use is totally different because they don't grow it over here. I mean, you get what I'm saying, family? So I just want to say that African culture, it did not stop in Africa. As we moved, so did the culture. And the culture expressed itself differently in different contexts. That's all. So I just want to put that out there. A lot of us think that, African culture is just practiced on the continent, Brother Ankh. And it wasn't. That's not accurate. We took our culture wherever we went, and that's what humans do. It's not just, what I'm saying does not just apply to African people. That's human beings, period. You know what I mean? Let me say something and I'll land my plane. I remember when I went to Ghana, the first time I went to Ghana was in 2019. I'm not mentioning the name, Brother Ankh. I don't even want to say no names, who I went with. You know who I went with in 2019. And you're the one who told me to go with him. You told me to go with him. But I went with the brother.
Talking about Bomani?
Oh my gosh. Let me put you out. Let me put you in the backstage. I just said I'm not going to say his name. You talking about because I don't want nobody from this platform to roll over there. I don't want nobody from this platform to roll over there talking about Dr. Ma'at went, so I'm going to go. Nope. When I go to Africa now, I either travel with Dr. Anthony T. Browder, shout out to IKG, or I go with shout out to INSA Exploration, Sister Marjorie Nicole and her husband Kennedy. That's who I go to Africa with. But the first time I went over there, I remember it was some brothers and sisters from Jamaica. They were on the trip. And when they went over to Ghana, they said they felt like they were at home. And I said, why did you feel? They said this is very similar to Jamaica, you know, and they were talking about the culture. The names of the foods were different, but the way they cooked, the way they prepared the food in Ghana was very similar to the way they prepared the food in Jamaica. But brother Ankh, guess what? A lot of the Africans that were brought to Jamaica, they came from the Gold Coast. They came from Ghana. You understand what I'm saying, brother Ankh? So again, we take our culture with us. So when those brothers and sisters from Jamaica went over to Ghana, I'm on a trip and they telling me the culture feels the same. They were like, oh, the foods are really the same, but it's just different names. Yes, because those brothers and sisters who were captured from the Gold Coast, that's what the Europeans called it. They called it the Gold Coast. But they took a lot of them, the Gold Coast Africans, because of their skills, they took them to Jamaica, which was at one point a huge transshipment area, right? So you had different parts, you know, you had four islands, actually, brother Ankh. You had Jamaica, Barbados, Saint Dominique, which I think they call it Haiti. I think that's what Haiti used to be called. And then you had Saint Martinique. Those were 4 transshipment areas that were huge, you know, over here in this hemisphere. But I say all that and just sharing that story with you just to demonstrate how your culture goes with you wherever you go. You see what I'm saying? Even brother Ankh, there were brothers and sisters from Barbados who said that the culture in South Carolina, particularly Charleston, seemed very similar. Why? They brought a lot of Africans from Barbados. They shipped them to South Carolina. I mean, you get what I'm saying, brother Ankh, and you take your culture with you. Brother Ankh, did you want to jump in?
I mean, what else you gonna do? you're gonna make do with what you got, and you're gonna form a culture that's gonna help you survive. So to say the African Americans don't got culture, that's a bunch of haters, man. Man, we've incorporated a lot of things, and this is important to recognize that. So I'm not gonna let a European tell me I don't have a culture. Okay. I'm not going to tell a person from the continent of African, nor Diaspora Africa, that I don't have a culture. That's nonsense, man. That and the thing about it is we're actually a fresh remix. You know what I'm saying? Like our thing is fresh, right? Remember, they erased us. You got to notice they erased us. And the things that came out of us is the things that just, you know what I'm saying, that just came out of us because they disconnected us from our root. We don't know what tribe or clan we came from. Not even DNA tests can tell you that, right? So we started from the beginning, okay? Hardships, you know, like I said before, you know, pressure make diamonds, Doc.
Absolutely.
And that's why I say I think we diamonds went through. I mean, matter of fact, come on, Doc. You know, we was a blueprint for causing continental Africans to go ahead and run Europeans out of that. But they started getting their independence. They was looking at what we did.
Oh yeah, I mean,
let's talk about that.
I mean, Steve Biko got his whole concept of Black consciousness from looking at the Black Power movement. You get what I'm saying? And so he got that whole idea of Black consciousness, even though people will credit him with the concept of Black consciousness because he penned it, but he got a lot of those ideas from the Black Power movement. So I agree 1,000% with you, brother Ankh. You know, we influence a lot of things. Brother Ankh, let's open up the lines and get some folks in here.
Yeah,
let me drop the chat because I see y'all in the chat bickering, man, going back and forth. I just dropped the link in the chat. Pull up on brother Ankh and I and share your thoughts. Y'all going back and forth. I see the M word being tossed around, brother Ankh. They are. They in the chat going in.
Told you this one of them conversations.
Yeah, they in the chat going in, man.
It's one of them things right here, boy.
Clear thinking. Hit the link. I know you said you wanted to come on. Click the link. Hot Spot Casino, my moderator, he in there arguing with.
Oh man. You put the link.
Yeah, somebody said, look at this. Someone said, we are not giving our accomplishments to Africa or Africans. I wouldn't.
No, that's what they say?
I don't know what they saying.
You know, you got some fake Native Americans.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
say them.
Doctor.
That's Priest King. I call names.
Dr. Winkler, click on the link and pull up. Click on the link and pull up if you can. I know he's always moving. He got a lot going on Sunday.
Exactly. We need it. Remember I said when we come to the city, man, we need to go to his spot.
Temple New African Thought.
We need to go to. He's been inviting us there, man. We need to go there and have nice conversation, man. When I'm in town, man.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Someone said if you can't trace your direct family to Africa, you can't find anyone in your labeled as an Africa. You need to accept that you're indoctrinated and grow. Y'all got it.
Middle of smoking weed. That's it. That's when you.
Yeah, that's a weed smoker right there. That's a weed smoker right there.
So, yeah, you can't get it.
What you say, brother? That's a weed smoker right there.
Taking a hit. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. If you can't.
There go Barry. There go Barry. Peace and love to you, Barry. What's on your mind, King?
Peace. My whole thing is we need to just focus on but our main focus need to be on us, the Africans that's from here, the foundational Black Americans here. We tried to do the whole pan-African thing it's something that's cool, but we not largely accepted by them. And I'm in New York. So when I first started hearing about the FBA movement and why the delineation was going on, being in New York, I gravitated towards it quick because I seen how these other people treated us and talk about us and stuff. And I remember in high school, we couldn't even get these people to even use the word Black. They used to be like, I'm not y'all. I'm this. I'm Trinidadian. I'm Jamaican. I'm Nigerian. I ain't y'all. And honestly, I didn't really start seeing these people really accept the word Black until Hidden Colors came out. But it's something that's cool though. I got a few Jamaican homeboys, like the one that's on people that's on code with us. Cool, but if they not, F them. And I treat FBA people that ain't on code the same way. Just because you FBA person, I don't mean you just cool automatically because we got coons too.
That's right. Exactly, brother. So, and brother, let me ask you a question because I've been hearing about boycotting African businesses. Have you gotten a whiff of that in New York? People are saying that we need to boycott.
We're not on that, bro. We're not really on.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it. Yeah, we gotta boycott.
To me, that's really more of an internet talking thing. We not really on that.
Okay, brother. All right, brother.
So vitamins, Africans, and stuff like that. I'm not.
What did you say? He said he was FBA. You said he was FBA.
Who, me?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, and it's not a group. A lot of people like spreading this. It's a group. It's not no group or organization. It's just another word for African American. That's all it is.
So African Americans is a group, though.
No, I'm saying like people trying to call it like a group, like it's a group, like it's an organization. It's something you join. No, it's not something you join.
It is though. Tariq is the leader.
Oh, no. Lord, brother, here we go. Why did Lord, Sister Juju? Here it comes.
No, I'm not trying to say. I'm saying, so you think that black people was in America, prior to indigenous Africans coming over here?
You said, do I what?
Do you think that did you think that the people that was indigenous to America was black people prior to African Americans coming over here from Africa? Or Africans coming from?
Oh no, I'm not really with all of that type of spin.
I told you, really. I told you everybody.
So you disagree with that? I just want to hear you say I disagree.
They make
with
it
that.
up. FBA
I disagree with that. I'm not one of those that I'm not. And Tariq is also saying too. He's not one of those that we don't have no African DNA or genetics.
I didn't say that. No. I'm not.
But no, I'm not with the whole we Indians and stuff like that kind of stuff.
Okay, so then why don't you tell Tariq? Because that's what FBA is. You can't make a new FBA now. That's the genesis of FBA.
See, everybody, see, it's 40 million of us, and some people see it as different. But for the most
Oh,
part,
There is
all
40 million.
FBA
40
people,
million.
It's 40
we
million.
not with the all
All right,
FBA
I'm
people.
done.
We don't
Not
do the
40
whole "oh, we Indians, we not African"
40
thing.
I,
million.
We don't.
I told you that that a lot of people who recognize the
they
FBA
spam. Now
lineage
they
is not
spam.
saying
I don't like that.
it.
I
A
don't
lot
like
of
that.
people don't. I told you that.
I don't like that. Tariq Nasheed
Yeah,
broke up.
like the
split the
whole
hold on.
Dane
Let me say
kind of
this. Let me
thing.
say, hold on, brother. I'm saying Yvette Cornell, they split the damn movement. I got to call it what it is, man. ADOS. Right? We
and
got there and split the
FBA.
daggone thing to FBA. That's what's going on. It's not 40 million, nothing. We're not doing none of that. Let's just keep it what it is. Right? Tariq Nasheed is the group leader, man. He the one that called the meetings and all that. He the one that came up with the idea, taking it from, I forget, I can't even think of the guy's name.
All right, so
That's
is
all.
Jesse
And I'm gonna
Jackson
say right
our
there.
leader because he the one who did that whole made up the whole African American thing?
But
Is he our leader?
he actually didn't. It actually come from Baltimore, an Afro newspaper, and it moved progressively. And yes, Jesse Jackson is one of the people that fought for that, but he's not the first person to say that and caught up with that. So no, it's not. Yeah,
I just don't
and
see
we've accepted
People
that.
Just
But I'm
know
gonna
it's
People were
not.
identifying themselves as African American since 1782.
Yeah,
You can find that in a it's called a
Yeah, that's
sermon
but
on. I'm gonna finish. It's called a sermon on the capture of Cornwallis, and it's listed by an African American. So that was something that we self-defined ourselves. In actuality, Afro and African is the same thing. You know, they both mean African. Okay, so when you say Afro American, same thing as African American, and both of those labels were used way before Jesse Jackson. And plus, you have the free African societies all across the Northeast, okay,
absolutely.
and other places. And these were in the 17 and 1800s. So y'all got to think before y'all just spew out nonsense about, Jesse Jackson, because that's not it.
That's
And
not
we
true.
kill y'all
Yeah,
on that every time.
yeah, Jesse in
but
the
why? But
80s.
here's my thing. Why us saying we foundational Black Americans bother everybody so much?
It don't. I
Be-
don't like
be-
the misinformation around. I don't like the fact that y'all split a
Yeah,
movement that was doing well for our reparations. Simple as that.
Repeat?
right.
Sorry, I
I,
didn't hear
I,
you.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I find it to be decisive. More labels means more decisiveness, right?
Mm.
Also, I find it to be very much reminiscent of COINTELPRO, because what I see as
Mm.
FBA is some type of segue to this Abo pretendian movement, right? This rejection of your Africanity, right? And now you have some FBAs and some Abos trying to petition to remove the reparations talk, or do anything to thwart our petition for reparations and other type of active movements within the government for African Americans. Like, I think is weird, because if you don't want to identify as us, if you don't want to claim your beautiful African American culture, then just leave us alone who do, and y'all don't tend to do that. Like, this is
Yeah, yeah.
clearly an African
First
American
of all, we're not
space,
bothering
right?
y'all. Then when we came
This
out and said
this
Hold
is
up, King.
clearly
Hold up, King, real quick. Hold up, King. Let her finish real quick, King. Brother Bird, let her
say a
finish
lot
real
of
quick.
things
Go
too.
ahead, Sister Juju.
Punched in the mouth.
this is clearly, I don't know if that's an African American and a proud African American space, right? With the African American professional and professor who teaches other African Americans at an HBCU. So, an Ankh, a proud African American, right? We love our culture. We display that every time. So I just be so dumbfounded why every time we're in our space, y'all gotta be in there too, say how y'all don't like it. It's weird. Like, find your own space, do what you do. And there's not 40 million FBAs. All African Americans do not align with that doctrine whatsoever. Okay, so
This
I'm
is
a
the thing. I keep talking about a doctrine is something you can join. It's not nothing you could join. If you are a descendant of the slave Africans here, your FBA, it don't matter if you like the term or don't like it. It's not about your feelings. You don't have to like the term, but I'm still going to consider you a foundational Black American. It's not a group you could sign up and join. It's not ADOS. It's not a thing where we have meetings, and it's just another name for
Saying it's a
African American.
lineage. You saying no? I wouldn't say it's another name for African American. I wouldn't say that. But I will say this, Brother Barry and Sister Juju and Brother Ankh. I think we've had this dialogue before. Remember, Brother Ankh, I was saying that people literally hijacked African American. Like, remember you looked it up, Brother Ankh, yourself. Like, so you can have continental Africans who come over here and say I'm an African American. I had to tell one of my students when she self-identified as African American, I said, "You're not." She said, "Well, I'm from the continent of Africa and I live in America now, so I am African American." I said, "It doesn't work that way." So I do understand the need, right, for another term, because you literally have people who are coming from the diaspora, coming from the continent over here in America saying I am an African American. And you looked it up, Brother Ankh. You looked up the definition of African American.
We got the Indian Syrian dude who running for mayor out here.
Let me respond. Hold on.
He out here talking about the African.
What? We're not even on that. So, Dr. Maya, like how I see that. Oh my God,
Brother Barry, Brother Barry, let Sister Juju go ahead, Sister Juju.
So to respond to you, Dr. Maya, how I've seen some Africans do it is that they consider themselves Black American, not African American. I've even seen an African defend that. I also seen another African, continentally born, defend it against another African saying they were African American. And he's like, no, that's for people who were descendants of enslaved Africans, right? So I'll hear them say Black American or say Nigerian American or whatever their ethnic group is, right? So I think that's just a smooth way to go with it. Like they should be identifying with their ethnic group, right? Yoruba American or, you know.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think that would be fair enough.
Yeah, just say Nigerian American. Exactly.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
exactly. But don't say African American. Yeah, don't say African American. That's not who you are, you know. Brother Barry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's why we gravitated towards the foundational Black American, because now we put a lock on it. Because I see people who be from the Caribbean, but they was born here. So they be like, technically, I'm a Black American. I'm a Black person born in America. And that's where a lot of these people have the problem with. They have a problem with the foundational part, because now they can't link themselves into it. And we ain't no hate group. We just recognize we are our own ethnic group, like Jamaicans and Trinidadians and all these other people. They are their own ethnic group in the African race. And it just seemed like when we do it, everybody want to cry foul now. And I live in New York City. I see all this anti-Black American, African American stuff. We got all these politicians that do all this stuff to undermine us and all this other stuff. They get in political power and they just look out for Caribbeans or Africans.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse
me, sir. Not mean to cut you off, but you know, I always say source up or shut up. And so I don't want to shut up, so I'm gonna give you a source. I'm gonna bring you two sources. All right. This is the person that started the FBA movement. Can you share my screen, please? Just get this out the way. All right. Here we go.
And there's direct routes from Africa to the Americas. Forget about the Bering Strait and all that walking. You can take boats over here, and there's rivers within the ocean that'll take you directly here. So there's 100% proof, and it's factual that there were Black people here.
Okay, he said that, but that
don't hold on. Nah. I'm gonna do three of you. I'm gonna do three sources. I'm not playing with this. I don't feel like playing.
No, but that don't mean I have to agree
with
everything.
Brother, don't worry about it, brother. Relax. Here we go.
No, I know what y'all try to do. Y'all all do the same stuff.
No, I'm playing a source. Is what I'm doing to support what I said. I'm not saying you believe anything. Let me source up. I'm just sourcing up.
Your lineage has nothing.
I think what's the purpose of this?
Here.
Let me explain again. There was an ethnogenesis between Black explorers, Black Aboriginal people, and Black enslaved. There were three waves of Black people who were here. There were already the Black Aboriginals that were here. Those were some of the Yamasee people who were on the East Coast. These were some of the Black Aboriginals that the European explorers said they saw when they got here. Then,
Bro, what, bro, come on, man. Like,
come on, what?
There's no proof that there was Black Aboriginals from Native to America before the slave trade.
Go get a book. When I name books, I give references. Get the book by a white man in Von Wuthenau. He wrote a book with a lot of pictures in it called Our ethnogenesis came way before then.
But Vaughn, we watched that one. You have another clip?
No, I want to understand what's the point.
Twist it real quick on you. That's the last clip. That's not the same one.
Okay, I thought the same one.
Here you go. Here you go. We're gonna get the clear picture.
Our ethnogenesis came way before then. You know, we became foundational Black Americans when all of us collided in the 1500s. So we've already had a presence here. And also when they talk about migration and people moving from different places, coming from one place to another, some of the red natives, when they came over the Bering Straits, they came from Asia. So you're not going to call them immigrants. I mean, they had a migration and they settled in parts of this land. There were Black people who were here. That's why when they do DNA, down there in South America, they dug up one of the oldest fossils in the Americas, which was Lucia woman, and they reconstructed what the woman looked like. A Black woman. Been here thousands of years ago. We've been here.
She's an Australorp.
Yeah, and the Folsom people been here for.
So all I'm saying is it's bad disinformation on top of bad disinformation, and there's a African American movement around bad information, man. And at this point, man, it's going to help you sell movies like Hidden Colors, which is bad information on top of bad information. I always say the best information in there was the one you was in, Doc, and I ain't just saying it because I'm your people's. I'm saying it because that was a good one right there. But this whole FBA, this new thing, why can't it be based off of solid information, man? So if the information that you stand on ain't solid, then the very thing you're talking about is not solid. I'm just saying that you don't
I don't agree with the stuff that he's talking.
I'm letting somebody else talk.
No, me and Ankh argue about this. Barry, me and him argue about this all the time.
Way to come at me.
I'm not coming to Barry.
Brother Barry, he just stating his perspective. He and I argue about this all the time, brother.
Yeah, Barry, I ain't on you, Barry. Barry, you told us I'm not a nut who act like you said it. You say I don't agree with that. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not the guy to tell that to. Go tell your friends. It's all to start to announce the whole Aboriginal thing. It's bananas with African Americans. Denying their ancestry is ridiculous at this point. It's crazy. But
Brother Barry, we spent a lot of time on this. I want to get to the next person coming in. Okay, I see brother Orlando's in the building. But thank you so much, Brother Barry. Thanks for pulling up, King. Peace and love. Brother Orlando, go ahead. You have the floor.
Peace, brother. This Gullah, Orlando, my real name. I just put it on there.
Got you, Gullah. Go ahead. Push your thoughts, brother Gullah.
Man, I just hate that we got, you know what I'm saying. I think we all should be proud of, you know what I'm saying, the portion of the Americans that we got dropped off at, you know what I'm saying. Like for me, I even go further. I think we should be identified as Africans of U.S. America. Because when we just say African America, because African America is really two continents. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of different. You know, that's why we say that. Not only we say the Americas, we got African. You know what I'm saying? Diaspora all over the Americas, and I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, overall, you know what I'm saying, that we have, you know, this continuation of, you know, these different Niger-Congo cultures coming out of West and Central Africa. They're fabricating into these different, you know, some different elaborate cultures all throughout the Americas. You know, some different traditions, you know, things that they know.
No, I like that.
Yeah, because even my queen is from she's from Colombia. She's from Buenaventura, and Buenaventura is on the Pacific coast, and it's like So out of the Americas total, Colombia got the fourth biggest black population in the Americas. Especially when you speak of Buenaventura or the Pacific Coast, areas like Choco, Cali, you know what I'm saying? Most of those areas are like 85% black. You know what I'm saying? If you go to some of them areas, you know what I'm saying, you would think you are in the the Gold Coast, or you know what I'm saying, somewhere in Angola, somewhere, but all of them speaking Spanish, you know.
Did he go out, brother Uncle? That's my computer.
No, that's him. His phone always do that. He got the
He probably went out.
He definitely got-
Okay, I was like,
He's
is my phone?
notorious for that.
Notorious going out on
He
that.
may be driving too.
Okay.
I wanted
Priest
to
King right there,
add
Doc.
something.
Priest King.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead,
stop.
Sister
I wanted to
Juju.
ask something real quick about what Tariq was saying, just so you know, for those who don't know, Alexander Van Wathenu is one of the sources that Ivan Van Sertima used. We know that book is debunked, okay? So,
Absolutely.
and also clearly outdated. There is no archaeological evidence, there's no anthropological evidence, no genetic evidence, there's no material cultural evidence that Africans were here before 1501, just to give clarification on what Tariq was attempting to say, and very wrong. That's all.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I don't subscribe to that whole idea, like you said, that we were here before the 1500s, at all. But I'm with you. I'm with you, Sister Juju. Thank you for that. Najee, please unmute your mic. What are your thoughts? Is it Najee or Najee? I see you unmuted your mic, but I can't hear you.
Get the Priest King.
All right. I
Bro
say
in
no.
the
I see.
corner looking
I'm
like
going. I'm
Tyson.
going in. I'm going in the order that they came in. The Cali Enigma.
How you doing, sister? How everybody doing on the panel?
Peace to you, warrior. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I mean, as far as this FBA stuff, so Tariq Nasheed said he actually got it from Dr. Claude Anderson, right? The ideal of Black folks being foundational to America, and that's what he came with, foundational Black America, because Dr. Claude Anderson is also somebody who brought up that Black folks were already here as well, and that we are then, the native Black folks, but it's saying that we not all of us came from Africa. So he was one of the first ones to push that ideology, and that's where Tariq got it from, and Tariq admits that he got it from him.
Oh yeah. We unpacked that, brother, on a show about a year ago.
That's
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Keep building.
And so what's going on right now with a lot of these FBAs? So like half of y'all acknowledge your African ancestry, but you still hate Africans, and then the other side claims to be some of them say that most of them say that they're Native American, right, or indigenous to the Americas. You got some that acknowledge your African ancestry, but then you also have a small fragment of them that claim to be, what do we call it? Black Europeans, right? Unfortunately, I met a brother who calls himself, he said he's from Baltimore, Moor, Baltimore, right? And he said he descends from the Black Scots that came here.
Oh, that's Callie. My fault. What's up, Callie? How you doing, man?
Good, brother. Good.
I said that sound like okay. He on TikTok, Doc. He over there.
I've been on TikTok, man. I kind of got off of there. It's just pure madness over there. Yeah, I just got off of it just like last week because it's just pure madness. Yeah,
TikTok crazy over there, man. TikTok is crazy over there.
It's nuts crazy. Over there.
Try YouTube.
That's where that war is.
I'm just in another space right now, right? So it's kind of me and my boy I Am Trill Will.
Okay.
We kind of engaging more on the politics side, trying to keep Black folks informed what's going on, talking about all the craziness with RFK Jr. and stuff like that, and also with the administration is doing, all the lunatic executive orders, the crap going on in the courts and everything. But that's what I got away. But just to make a long story short, like I said, the FBA, if you start to ask any of them about Black American history, they have no idea what has anybody ever done in our history. They don't know anything. they can't really go past the 1980s, and they don't even know much history about us in the 80s. So they all just kind of parrot Tariq Nasheed, which is why you hear words like, you hear the undermine, right? Tether, hairline, where's your grandma from? Where your granddaddy from? Where your great grandmother from? Where your great granddaddy from? Where your great great grandmother from? Like they have all the same talking points. Whether you got the Afro elite dude, the midget, what do you call himself, Black Alpha Network, like all these people, they all parrot Tariq Nasheed. None of them have their own idea. They claim not to be a hate group, but they're xenophobic, moronic, idiotic coon coat. And they're not bright at all. These people don't read anything. I've had conversations with these people on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They're all the same. They're just all mindless drones and idiots. So I just wanted to say that.
Move on, bro. We gotta let somebody else get in. Appreciate you,
bro.
Appreciate you, brother Callie. Appreciate you, brother J.A. Oh, there might be a sister. I think there might be a sister. There was a brother.
J.A. Yeah.
J.A., what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, so I'd like to back up Gullah Geechee. There's a guy on YouTube, spelled ACE, and there's a YouTube video of him and Quibo or Buenaventura. And if you see down there, man, it was like, I'm talking dark-skinned Black people. I was like, what? In Colombia. So I've seen those videos. On this topic with the FBA things, I have a question. One. So someone comes here from the Caribbean or wherever, right? They have a child. They can't say African American, right? Their children are born here now. How long does it have to go before that child can say they're African American?
You can say it like Doc said. Once you hear next generation, you're gonna be African Americans. But when it comes time to get that check, they done. They ain't better get that check.
You always differentiate at that point because that's a historical claim, right? That's what Tariq would push, right?
Slow down. Listen.
Yeah.
This when you got to be about business, yo. Yeah, hey, man, I love my people, man. I love my people, but that don't mean I'm gonna let my store go broke. Like I can't give it away.
No.
So
no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Let me finish, bro. So what I'm saying is we cut it off when the check comes. That's we cut it off when it's business arrangements. Because just like we can sit here and understand what you just said, what you just said was, well, suppose you had a child, came in and had a child, and we agree as African Americans, but that particular African American would not be a descendant of a person that had enslaved ancestry. So that's easy work, bro. Just like we can figure it out, people with the money is not paying them.
But you're arguing a point I'm not making. I agree with you.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is when
do you become
comes,
when do you become
no, forget about that part of it.
Oh,
what
you
I'm
changed it because that's what I was speaking on.
No. What I'm saying is
on that part,
you can say what I'm saying. Anybody could come now and say they're African American. Let's make that assumption, right?
Yeah,
whenever you go to get a check,
okay,
if the check is based on a lineage, then you have to prove your lineage. You can call yourself an African American,
right?
But you have to prove that lineage to get the money.
That's
then that starts knocking people out.
That's
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's why we advocate, JA. That's why we advocate for lineage-based reparations. But go ahead.
And that's fine. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that the name at that point doesn't matter because now you have to prove a lineage. So if you can't prove your lineage, then you don't get the check.
Yeah, the name.
No matter what you call yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no matter what you call yourself. He's right. No matter what you call yourself. Right.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. Okay.
That's what he's saying.
We got that because sometimes I hear people arguing about
I get you. No, you're right.
African American versus this versus that, as if the check is already here.
Yeah.
It's already been determined how it's. You know what I mean?
No, I got
it's like you're wasting your time. And then I talk to guys that they're a part of the FBA movement, or they say they're FBA, right? And then they have no political strategy to get there. America is a place, unless America does not become a democracy at some point, right? Which is possible, right?
You say what? What'd you say?
Unless America is not a democracy at some point, right? Which is possible. Everybody over the age of 18, regardless of where you're from, as long as you're a citizen, you have a vote. So it's a game of addition. If you ask, I'll bet money. If you ask Caribbeans and Africans and all these people from the diaspora, if Black America should get reparations, I would guarantee you would get the highest numbers of Caribbeans and Africans that would support your position. The lowest numbers would be white American. And in order to have anything in this country pass, you need votes. So you need to start figuring how to add people to your cause to support your position. And but then I talk to people that are in the FBA and they're like, oh, we never got no help from nobody. And I'm like, what are you saying? Even in the civil rights movement, because it's television and it going across the world and the Soviets pushing back against America, look how you treating these people. It caused America to have to make certain moves. You know what I mean? So it's a wonky situation, how people are thinking about it. I think,
Thank you, brother.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead,
with
Pat.
you, brother J.A. Yeah, I'm with you, brother J.A. Thank you so much for coming and weighing in.
Oh, can I bring up one other thing?
No,
we gotta
move on.
No,
Okay,
it gotta be really quick, J.A. Because we getting ready to close out.
J.A.
The quickest thing I got to say, right, is
can't
this.
do it quick. Jay can't do it quick.
I'm gonna do it quick.
No, you
There's
can't.
a doctor named Dr. Bandy Lee, right? And she makes an argument that essentially we're influenced by other people more than we think, essentially, right? And my argument is Donald Trump is one of the main reasons why you see these type of movements popping up. One of my proofs for it, prior to Trump coming down and talking about immigrants in this negative way, making it, normalizing it, right? Tariq Nasheed was talking about 1804 Haiti, going to Africa, talking all this stuff. Even Carnell, which was around since 09, or that movement was kind of there. It's always been there. And then he jumps on that, and then it kind of takes off. But it's still a minority, I believe, but it took off. And I think it's because of the rhetoric from our president,
Okay. Well, thank you so much, brother J.A. The Great Priest King. What are your thoughts, the Great Priest King? What do you think?
Mess it up. Just mess it up. Go ahead. Peace. Nah, I mean,
just the name, the Priest King.
Well, he called me on the channel, so I know you got some smoke for me. I just want to say I come in peace. First of all, peace to you, peace to Dr. Maya, peace to Juju on the beat. I'll come in peace.
Juju on the beat.
Not Juju on the beat.
But yeah, like I wish, you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Again, I wish the whole purpose of the American Indian movement was not to discredit or to diminish the Pan-African movement. I mean, it became like that because the way the Pan-Africans treated the American Indians and began the way, you still kind of have a condescending attitude toward people who believe and people who know that we were born in America. As far as like the FBA thing goes, like what I realized, and Ankh can vouch for this, but what I realized is this is a cult of personality. Like I say, like people, if the Pan-Africans can respect how we did what we did, y'all could kind of be where we at. But y'all don't want to. Y'all don't respect me.
I know who the who. I need to know who the who is. Who you talking about?
Yeah, I'm about to say
what is it that they don't respect? Let's hit it. You sound like you're scamming us right now.
I'm just saying, like they don't respect.
They don't respect. Pan-Africans.
I mean,
what?
No, I know the Pan-Africans don't respect.
Pan-Africans did what to the Indians?
They don't. First of all, like I said, I said me. The Pan-Africans respect me, and I am the Indian leader. That's serious.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Brother Unc knows.
Unc is not going to save
first
you.
before I even put an Indian thing out. Before there was a zero Indian, me and Unc was supposed to have a debate on was English American Indian language. But that was my brother. I didn't want to kill him. I knew I was
going with the bread. If you'd have came with the bread, yo, I'd have beat you half to death. Hands would have been smoking.
But the point is, that was way before anything, and he knew I was coming. I was coming for war. So that was the thing. I mean, we did what we did, but I'm saying is my point I'm making is, like, the reason why Tariq Nasheed is popping down is because I'm not around. Everybody knows it's a cult of personalities. That's the sad part. Bro, everybody's looking at him to bring some type of reparations. If he wasn't talking about doing reparations, nobody would give a rat's about him.
He's not going to bring reparations saying he was already here.
Juju, can I?
That's not how it works.
God damn, I waited patiently. I didn't cut nobody off.
Go ahead, land your plane though. Great priest, land your plane.
We wanted to make sure you was talking about the Indians and not the African Americans. We just want to make sure. But go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Let him finish.
I don't have no smoke for y'all. The problem is personalities. Like I say, Polite is my student. Them niggas stole everything about what we do. That phenom, that's what you gave me. I'm the young phenom. You gave me that title. They gave it and signed that, ticket and gave it to Polite. So everybody knows they don't have nothing to compete with us. It's about personality. It's about personalities. And unfortunately, I gave information is that primates is from America. Nobody can dispute that primates is from America. So therefore, I don't have to argue about, oh, you are Indian, this, that, and the third. Argue with primates from America. Everything else is about personality. It's about a person seeming like he's going to do something for you. I'm empowering my people to do for themselves. That's why.
Hold on, stop, freeze for a minute. So, in case y'all don't know what he's doing right now, what he's saying is that early humans,
psychobabbling.
No, I'm telling you what he's doing. He's trying to say that Homo sapiens arose in America. I just want to translate that.
No, I did not say that, sir. I did not say that, bro.
Natasha, I'm lost too. Natasha, I'm lost too.
I said primates originate in America, and I understand you guys are lost because we dealing with science. Y'all dealing in history.
Nah, man, you.
I'm dealing in science.
That ain't no science.
I deal in history. I deal in language. I'm the master of this thing. But
let me know when you're done.
That ain't no science.
Where primates come from?
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, we ain't gonna buy that.
I just wanted to let him know there's no way that English can be indigenous to America because it's under the Indo language phylum, which has other subclades, which includes like Germanic, Romantic, Slavic, different things like that. The Native American does not fit in that language phylum. So no, English is not indigenous to America. They don't speak English here.
Yeah,
he mentioned primates like as a whole, like the earliest primates, but not when you get to the simians and all that come way later. You know what I'm saying? It's like the early ancestors of horses come from the Americas, but that wasn't that's when horses had 5 toes. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go into a broad view of primates.
I think he was talking about like human primates.
Yeah, that's something about.
I know, but he trying to conflate that the earliest primates, the earliest primates were here in America, but not when you get into apes and simians and all that. You know, all that developed in Asia.
Yeah.
Now the primates first evolved in Africa and Asia. What are we talking about?
And one of the oldest primates was found in Montana. It was found in Montana. I wouldn't even argue. This dude is a clown, bro. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ngozi about to go in. Ngozi about to go. What's up, Ngozi?
Hey, Dr. Mayad. I was just waiting to just Bill. How you doing? I haven't heard from you in a minute. And peace and love to the panel.
But yeah, I know. But go ahead. I know you want to jump in there. And we got Brother Street Media, Brother George.
Now, he was that guy was trying to bring up.
Gullah, you real muffled. Gullah, you real muffled. So I'm muting you out, brother. And then we gave you like 5 minutes to go in, right? So like I just want to pass the mic. But go ahead, brother, and goes.
I was just saying that guy was trying to promote one of the oldest primates is found in America. It was found in Montana. So that's not
30 million, right?
Yeah, it was found in Montana. Yeah, one of the oldest primates going back 68 million to 60 million years was found in Montana. The oldest primate. It has nothing to do with simians and the lineage that we came from much later. So what he's trying to talk about is what was found in Montana. That's what he's trying to talk about.
Hold on.
Yeah, look it up. Oldest primate found in Montana in America. That's 68 million to 60 million years ago. That's a fact.
So I'm 30 million years off. Okay, hold on. Oldest primate found in America. Hold on.
In Montana, MONTA.
All right. No, keep talking.
I don't like how you disrespecting Dr. Mayat, bro.
Who him?
What happened?
Who said that? That's all right. He hit the pen again around. He'll get it.
Who disrespected the queen?
Yeah, talking about you a snitch.
Oh,
yeah, hey man, don't worry, man. That shit.
Yeah, don't give him no shot. He's
these people weirdos. They weirdos. But I was gonna say, the title that we have, I feel for us as a lineage in America is good enough. African American. I even threw a spin at FBA and called us FAA, Foundational African Americans. We don't need all the other stuff is not needed. We're foundational African Americans. We are part of the history and foundation of what built this country. We have a label already. People, they trying to create all these different names and spin-offs of different things, but what's set is set and what's established is established. and following the lineages and following like the genealogy and different things and the traces of ancestral history and certain information, it's already there. Could a Caribbean African be a African American? They would call himself African American, but he wouldn't be a foundational African American or FAA. Everybody know that. We know that Jamaica is part of North America. A lot of places surrounding is part of North America, but the United States is something different within North America. So we are just foundational African Americans, which is a spinoff of FBA. All the other stuff, it's just people just arguing, and ultimately, I don't think we're gonna get anything anyway, based off the way the system is designed here. I think it's impossible. That's just me. I could be completely wrong.
So Gozy, tell me if I'm wrong. Let's go to the 60 million year old find real quick. Journal of Science. They're basically saying it's the ancestor or near relative of primates at 65.9 million years ago.
Right.
And then it goes on to say a significance of it. This genius help us understand the initial radiation of early primate lineages, mammals, right after the dinosaurs went extinct, right?
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense because it was a half. Okay. Torrezenia, the oldest known primate skeleton from America, New Mexico. And it says Torrezenia is a member of the extinct group of Plateociniforms. It's a considered close relative to true primates, age and context. 65 million years ago was recovered from San Juan Basin in Mexico. Significance: this find supports the hypothesis that early primates or their close relatives were arboreal, let's say, possessing anatomical features adapted for life in the trees. So they're not saying they're actually true primates, though. So I just want to make that
correct. Now look up the. Yeah, no, you're right. But I also want you to look up the oldest primate found in Montana.
The first fossil it was the, hold on. The one I just said, Montana. Right. Yeah. It says a Porgaticus. It says it's considered one of the earliest ancestors
of primates
or near relative of primates.
Correct.
Right. It's often referred to as primormorph. How you say that? Primormorph. Right. 65 million. Yeah. It's just I'm just saying it says like primate like and hold on Gozy. So we know when the continents together, right? If I was to pull up the continental drift when they was together, right? They got that thing that what they kind of talking about, right? That's not a so you saying that's a true primate or with this?
No, it's a basal branch of it. Like it's one of the earliest basal branches of it. And if you read a lot of the headlines, they talk about the oldest primates found here. Now,
headlines to get us though, right?
Them headline, and that's what I'm saying. He's trying to use that as a spinoff to project whatever he's trying to project. But you have to be careful with the headlines. It's a basal branch of an earlier primate, and one of them was found in Montana, which is a basal branch of it. That's why they talk about paramorphs, right? So it's a basal branch of it.
Okay, all right, we're in the game.
Free media, George. Good love to you, brother George. Brother George.
I blame Uncle for
him out of this.
This is all.
What happened, brother George? What happened, brother George?
I blame Uncle for all this foolishness. This is his fault, man. All dating back to 2009, he started it all.
What happened, brother George?
Game one with all the other groups that wasn't pan-African. It's Uncle's fault.
Oh man.
No, I think the young people talking to FBA talk is a good thing. I'm gonna tell you why. As long as I've been in these spaces and outside in the streets, when you hear young people, for the most part, talk, a lot of times the reason why they don't want to be associated with anything Pan-African or this pro-Black stuff, because it's been a colossal failure to them. It's produced nothing for them. Like the generations coming up now, a lot of times when we talk about history, we got to go all the way back to Dr. King on back. We skip like 50, 60 years of history because it's like it's nothing been produced. And I think like a lot of these young kids don't have a lot of hope and a lot of stuff that's being taught. So they latch on to something where they want to self-identify themselves. And I don't have a problem with it, just as long as they can start getting a more historical narrative. Like I think that they're paying attention more than what they ever, whether we agree or disagree with them. They could be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. but they
Your
still,
mother, nigga.
yeah, but
Oh,
they
my
still
fault.
hear.
My fault. Yo, this nigga just takes with that bull crap, yo.
Yeah, they still hear. They hear, talking, as opposed to a lot of stuff that, when we was on side of the TV years ago, we was trying to, we was working every day trying to get the attention of the people. A lot of people tuning in now, they got their own rhetoric, but I think that a lot of the pro-Black and Pan-African structure need to take a look at its stuff and look at the production. What has it produced in the last 50 years? Why are these young people gravitating towards this instead of criticizing them? To me, in my opinion, I'm right here in Philly. Africans don't practice no Pan-Africanism. They practice pan-culturalism and money.
Okay.
They don't practice no Pan. We the only group, to me, that practice Pan-Africanism. Them Africans, it's Africans everywhere here in Philadelphia, everywhere. And it's not like New York where they have like Flatbush, where they have like your Caribbeans and Jamaicans. And Philly, the history of Philly, like all Black people just is immersed together.
Let me take beefing with somebody. Let me take them off.
Yeah, I see.
Let me let Ankh handle that. Let me let Ankh handle that.
That's why I said I blame Ankh. That's Ankh. But for the most part, the history of Philly, you had Haitians and Jamaicans and stuff here, but you didn't even know that they was Haitians and Jamaicans till you went to their family house. We was all together. That's changed in the last 15 to 20 years. The riders that was here when we were young, because to me, I'm 50. I don't know nobody that was more pro-Black 35 to 40 years ago than the Jamaicans back in the day. We grew up on Burning Spear, Black Uhuru, Nyabingi drums, all that kind of stuff immersed in with Black American culture. Man, that don't exist no more. That's gone. You from Baltimore, so you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Ma, y'all right down the road. It's the same culture. Y'all just talk different. It's the same thing. Built the city, built the same people. So I just think it's not the same. And I think before we just start pointing the finger, look at our community. Look at Baltimore. We've been gentrified out of the communities. Philadelphia. It's like these young people don't have no hope. They're not listening to that Pan-African bull crap no more. And we got to just tell the truth. When we talk history, we don't go back to 1989 and talk about some wins we got. It's been colossal losses, failures. And these are the conversations I think that people don't want to have because it forced us to look at ourselves in the mirror and look at mistakes we make or the mantles that we didn't pick up that our ancestors left for us. So when you see these young people doing this, that's our fault. That's our fault. So don't be mad at them calling themselves FBA. What the hell has Pan-African done for Baltimore and Philadelphia and Newark, New Jersey, Brooklyn? Nothing. That's the thing people don't like, but it's the truth. I rested there.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you coming in and weighing in and sharing your thoughts. I see brother Delani. I don't know if that's Delani or Delaney. Delani.
Greetings, Empress.
Greetings, brother. How are you?
Greetings. Thank you, Dr. Mayat, for having me. I just would like to just express, I'm glad to be on your panel. I've heard a lot. I've heard of a lot, and I just want to say, from the outskirt that I'm a proponent of Pan-Africanism.
Same here.
Yeah, I have. But what I find strange is the rhetoric that I've heard in the last, say, 5 to 10 years. And I know, Dr. Maya, that you also know our history, and you know the history of our people. We have a common history coming out of Africa, the boat dropping us off in many different locations. And we have suffered the same pressurization of colonialization, of imperialism, in America here domestically, in the Caribbean, which we now call the Afrobean, because I think that we need to rename that place because 95% of us are Africans in the Afrobean. So, but the point I want to make that the identity crisis that we are experiencing today is rooted in our enslavement. And but what got my attention early on in the years, in the last 10 years, was on Sonetta TV. I saw it first emerge with the Hebrew Israelite. And then it morphed into this Aboriginal stuff, copper tone, indigenous, emerging from the banks of the Mississippi, from the soil. I mean, it was just madness. Now the ADOS came along the scene, and then now Tariq Nasheed have taken and morphed it into FBA. And what I find about this is that there's an insidious aspect of it, Dr. Maya. We're now we, we, we're betraying our ancestral lineage, totally abandoning our African roots and our African ancestry. And now, if you go on social media, and I think some of the panelists reference it. If you go over there on TikTok and on Twitter, with I think they call it X now, and you go on like on Tariq Nasheed timeline, it's just total denigration of African people. It is a total drop the bomb. If an African scratch their finger, if an African fell down on the floor, if anything he could find, the most petty, the most insidious, the most obnoxious things, and you post it day in and day out. I just cannot believe this man who have came out with hidden colors was pimping us all along. He was like a petty opportunist, and he's playing on the mind of the ignorance of our people and using it to just dump on fellow Africa and creating this rift, this animosity. We were already suffering with the Hebrew Israelite stuff. We were already going through this madness with the Aboriginal. Then he came in with a certain level of legitimacy because he parlayed with the pimping of the whole in living color stuff. I mean, hidden colors. Got his way through the door. We thought he was one of us. Then we realized he was using us. Was able to get the scholars them, pay them a little change to get them to speak about African history. But he wasn't genuine about it. And we see it all exposed now. Then he comes talk about this multiple lineage stuff that that Ankh correctly pointed out the fallacy and the flaw of that. But what it's creating is the so-called rift. Dr. Maya, if you look around the globe, where African people are emerging from our colonialism, we've all been crippled, and we're trying to come up. We're trying to build unity. We're trying to get back our resources. We're trying to get the family back together. We're damaged people. We're trying to repair the damage. And we're trying to build cohesion. The only group that I see is pushing against and fighting against the coming together of African people is these so-called FBAs and those likes, like the Aboriginal, the native copper tone madness that's coming out, and the Hebrew Israelites. They're the only set. If you look around the globe, and then you also got ignorant African people on the continent, in the Caribbean, who are low information people, low lack of knowledge, they probably get caught up in it because there's not, if you go on TikTok, it's anybody goes. Everybody's a scholar who don't know nothing. And it's distorting, it's muddy the water. And so when we say Pan-Africanism, it's trying to bring the African family together. We share resources. We respect our culture. We respect the achievement of African Americans, those in the Afrobean, those on the continent. Most of my teaching was from scholars, from African American scholars who bred me, who nourished me, who took me out of my darkness stage, in my darkest moment, and lift me up to the man that I am today. African American scholars responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear this thing as if there's this group out there or this movement out there against African American, it's a false argument. And I hear a brother, and I think he's still on the panel in the red. He was saying that the Africans them there now is not Pan-Africanist. Most African people don't know nothing about Pan-Africanism. It's only the learned, the scholars know about, and most African Americans don't know nothing about Pan-Africanism. It's only the scholars. If you go across the universities, if you look at the writers and most of the scholars in African American community, they're all Pan-Africanists. I've never come across a serious African American scholar who were not a Pan-Africanist because they know the connectivity that we share. We share biological, cultural, and political connection throughout the centuries. In the last 500 years, we've been together fighting against the same system of oppression that's denying us in the Caribbean, denying us in Africa, and denying us in America. We've been fighting to come up, but those who know better have been the one in America, in in the Caribbean and in Africa. They've been trying to work together to pull it together scholastically, politically, organizationally, trying to get it together. We don't need the division. We don't need a divisive language and in the hurtful talk. And this idea, and I'm going to address this last point because I know other people want to speak about Africans are coming to America for reparation. We're coming to steal your reparation. That is, I've never heard that argument amongst any African group in the Caribbean or Africa say, oh, I'm going to America because I want to go get their reparation. That's a straw man, a false, totally false argument. No one have ever said that. And then another issue as well. When you look at the whole force of colonialism and imperialism, who was responsible for enslaving African people, it didn't begin in 1776. We got to go all the way back and deal with the whole history. If we're going to do reparation, we got to repair the whole African family that was damaged. This idea of isolating, and we're already trying to put criteria. We're trying to predetermine the criteria for how imperialism is going to be forced to pay reparation. I think that's a fault. We got enough scholars, mathematicians, scientists who can figure it out. If we're talking about being scientific about it, we got enough social scientists, sociologists, writers, thinkers who can figure it out. I believe in our scientific teachers and our researchers who can find the answers. So let's not prejudge who's going to get what. All African people were damaged by the entire system of enslavement. It was a global conspiracy, a Western conspiracy against the entire African family. So now we're trying to emerge, and now we're going to start getting divisive and turn against each other when our focus should be against a common enemy and try to build each other up and respect each other. I'm a child. I'm a child of the Afrobean. I spent 20 years of my life in America, 20 years in Europe, and 20 years in the Afrobean. So I respect the entire family, but my nourishment, my knowledge came from the African American scholars like Dr. John Henry Clark, like Dr. Penn, like Browder, Anthony Browder. Those are the scholars that nurtured me in my early stage, and even to today. Many of them. And I got a whole library of great scholars. The majority of the scholars in the Pan-African movement are African American people. So I just want to put that on the board, Sister Maya, and saying that it's one love, it's peace, and I hope we can just live together as a good family, man, and stop the hate, the denigration. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It makes us look bad, by the way. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. Najee, you have the last words. Kyle is in his feelings about not getting on. We getting ready to close out, Kyle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we getting ready to close out, man. So
Okay, I'm gonna make it real fast. So my thing is I agree with
who's talking right now? No, brother
Najee.
George. Hold on. Let Najee talk.
Well, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay, Najee. I'm sorry. I thought brother George was talking.
So I like I said, I've been kind of like just monitoring this whole thing. I'm not for or against, FBA, ADOS, but I watched the origin of it. So I agree with my man, the guy that just was speaking when he said it's divisive. Divisive. Only thing I don't like is where they try to make the divisiveness one directional. Like the disrespect isn't bi-directional. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Newark, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I had a store. You know what I'm saying? And this is anecdotal. I had an African woman come in my store, and before she bought anything, she asked, was I African? When I said I wasn't African, she walked out. You know what I'm saying? And I got some real thorough African and Caribbean people that I know. But the divisiveness is bi-directional. Let's stop acting like it's just Tariq Nasheed. And I don't like when people, because I've been paying attention. So when he says that people are saying that people are coming to America to steal Black Americans' reparations, that is not the argument. The argument is that we have people in different spaces that are not Black Americans that the white collective is using to represent African Americans, and they use these same people to speak down on reparations. That's somewhat part of the argument. Oh, now the reason why I came up on this platform was to address Ankh. When Ankh said that Tariq Nasheed splintered the reparations movement. I was like, again, I watched it. I watched the fallout from the inception. You had a battle of two egos. Yvette Carnell, very egotistical.
I heard.
Tone, very egotistical.
I heard.
They helped splinter that movement. There was an article that came out that was because they were basically pushing to get recognition. They got the recognition. So there was an article that came out, but I think it was either New York Times or some ABC or something like that. And y'all can Google and correct me. That's what started the fallout. When ABC or New York, I think it was maybe ABC, when they did their article or they did whatever they did, a news outlet, when they did their article, they included Tariq Nasheed. That's what started the riff. And Yvette Carnell and them went out of their way to distance themselves in a public way and came after Tariq Nasheed. And that's what started the bickering. So Tariq Nasheed did not splinter the movement. And what I said, and I called Yvette's show, I said, Yvette, I don't think what you guys are doing are wise. Let Tariq Nasheed do his thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, be a wise leader. You know, Tariq Nasheed and his rhetoric, he's good at roasting, you know, on Twitter, you know, social media. So the people that attack you, use Tariq Nasheed as your attack dog. And get behind the scenes. Y'all said y'all building y'all chapters. Do the work. She blocked me, shut me down. Anybody who gave her any kind of counsel, she started to go on a blocking campaign on social media. Anybody who basically even followed Tariq Nasheed, she blocked. So that woman, in tone, splintered that reparations movement. You know what I'm saying? So that's the origin of it all. But again, I'm gonna close with this. People that come up here that try to make it seem like Tariq Nasheed is the only divisive person that I see on social media. I see Africans up there being disrespectful. For a while, I don't see it no more since Tariq Nasheed started his. And I don't agree with it because I think it's, you know, I don't agree with the back and forth. But there was a word that was so flippant off of Western Africans' tongues. They would call us Akata like there was no tomorrow. And a lot of us didn't really pay attention that we were being othered. And that's what kind of also started the riff. And with even with this whole Pan-African thing, nobody checks the Africans that says that we don't have any culture. Nobody checked that leader in Ethiopia when he mocked us.
Hold
He
up,
said,
Najee. Hold up, Najee. What do you mean nobody? Me and Unc do it all the time. We had
no. I'm speaking. I mean, I might. Sometimes you can't speak. I'm speaking in generalities. I
Okay,
don't
you said
know
nobody
who
check. Yeah,
checked.
I'm like, oh
Okay,
no.
yeah.
I'm like, we had those conversations.
But this is the thing, and the things that I've been paying attention to. When that disrespectful Ethiopian leader mocked us and compared us to white Jews and why we can't get it together and jokingly disrespected us, those are the things that people that fueled this FBA movement. Now, I agree with other people who came up there and say that a lot of the guys that basically that parrot Tariq Nasheed, get your own brain. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with you saying, yo, I'm FBA. You know what I'm saying? But get your own brain, get your own scholarship. If you saying that, you know, because Tariq Nasheed said he's not a leader. He said it's a lineage. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm going for his word. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, Ryan Coogler, he dropped the FBA moniker. Is he
Yeah, he
part of
did. He
the
did. He
FBA?
did.
You know what I'm saying? So
He did.
everybody is taking on FBA and have its own meaning. Me, I might say FBA, but for the most part, I say Black American. I get
Yeah.
it.
Same
But only
here.
thing
I'm
I'm
with
saying
you.
is for my brothers in the Caribbeans and in Africa, let's stop the bullshit. Y'all know that y'all been divisive. Y'all know that y'all been saying some real slick, shady stuff as it relates to Black Americans. Let's cut it. And I close.
All
Hey,
right, brother Najee. Appreciate you, brother.
can I just say one more thing real quick?
It gotta be real quick because
Yeah,
I'm
it's gonna be
closing
real
out. It
quick.
gotta be
I
like
can't,
super,
I
like
can't back
under
up.
60 seconds thick. Go ahead.
I
Under
just
60
wanted to come
seconds
back
quick.
up because, like, the elder that was speaking is what I was talking about. Real quick, the problem is in the whole diatribe that the brother was saying, everything is foundational Black Americans' fault. The divisiveness, and like I said, I'm here on the East Coast, man, in Philadelphia. Like, for a long time, it's been a division. Like, if Liberians and the Ghanaians ingratiate themselves into our culture, all the other groups don't. And like, you got to stop. And I know in Pan-African, we've been fed this. We glorify Africa, and we thought it was this big utopia, and it's not. They don't
they don't do that in Pan-Africanism, George. What are you talking about? Nobody's
there's a lot of distortion taking place.
Nobody's glorifying
but see,
Africa and acting like it's a big melting pot
off the streets. And I was born into the culture.
We to stop the romanticization.
Yeah, that's nobody exactly, Sister Juju.
That's a distortion of Pan-Africanism.
No, this
it
is
is exactly.
This is what I'm saying. We all Black here in America. We got different experiences. We may disagree, but the way I was taught was, everything was about Africa. We had the red, black, and green medallions. We was fighting the free Mandela. We wasn't taught about the tribalism and stuff like that was going on in the early years. We thought Africa was this utopia until you start really studying history and learning the different tribalism. That's why we had a mentality. When you came here, you was just Black. A lot of them don't come here with that mentality that we have. Right. That's what I'm speaking to. So what happens is, a lot of times when I hear us talk, we let them off the hook. And I'm not saying y'all, because y'all do be going in, but I've been in this space a long time, and I've been having these arguments, right? So
maybe next time we can unpack that whole argument you're saying on the next show.
No, but
because even a lot of that is distortion. Because we've been fighting a liberation struggle. Those are not tribal wars.
Yeah.
All over Africa.
Right.
Struggle after liberation struggle.
Let me jump in this for a minute.
The young people was running over to the other side, and we got to look at why they doing it.
No, I want to address you for a minute.
There's a reason why they doing it.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on. You saying the young people running over to what side?
The young people online and all these different places and spaces is looking for a different identity because they don't want to associate with something that they deem as a failure. Now we're older.
I'm saying, what are you deeming as a failure? What? What?
I have a different perspective.
Pan-Africanism, the pro-Black stuff. When you look at our communities, it hasn't matriculated back into success within our communities.
Hold on, let me get this straight.
Because
come on, man. Goddamn, bro. I've been nice in this motherfucker. Somebody done called my phone.
Your language.
Okay.
I'm
already hot.
You just gotta know how to interject properly. Man. You gotta teach you that.
I was talking with you talking about him because I was talking to which one?
You have to learn how to interject properly.
Hey, you're not on the west side, man.
Wasn't me and you talking just now.
Yeah,
and I asked a question about something. You was telling me, and the other you jumped in. No,
go ahead and make your point.
Go ahead and make your point.
I want to make sure I'm not delusional because sometimes I lose my mind. Wasn't me and him just talking?
No.
Right?
But before that, it was three of us. Before that,
I heard
Juju, it was Dr. Mayat, and all of us.
Hold on. But you said something. You talked for like 35 minutes. 35 minutes, bro. I heard all that, and I didn't say a word.
But that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. We've been past that.
Hey, look, hold on. Look. Yeah, I'm about to say, y'all gonna take this conversation on the community of skeptics. I'm about to be out of here, man.
My point is, that's not true, bro. That the Pan-African moves, the Black empowerment movement, they were successful, because we're here. We're standing on their shoulders. That I'm telling you, bro. It's just at this juncture, the information is no longer relevant for the struggle. And so now we move forward, but we stand on their shoulders, bro. If not the mistakes they made, if not the ground that they push forward with, then where we at? So that's okay. You got Pan-African people now that's with the signs. They should have always been with that. If you look at the origin of it, it was with all that. So we can't classify everything. I'm saying as we move forward, the names will change, but the game will be the same, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I don't like to throw dirt.
You gotta listen to the young people too when they talk.
No,
but George, you were saying like it ain't produce anything, and what he's trying to say is it's false.
I agree, but see, this is what I'm saying.
No, you can't say you agree if you just said it.
No, but I made a point.
That we're talking, George.
The point I made. Because I said, when we look at the 60s and we look at like the executive orders that's on the books that was supposed to be for us, and the civil rights bills that was passed. It's not specifically for African Americans. It's for people of color, and discrimination against race, and these other groups come here and benefit from it while not rocking with us at the same time. So what you just said, I agree with, but it has to be now made relevant for today's time. And I think that the young people today are voicing their opinion. And we got to listen to them whether we disagree with them.
The young always overtake the old, so this transition is happening. But no young people is going to move forward can throw away their whole shit that came before them. Because if you do, you go right back to where you started from.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I can't challenge that.
I'm in with that. So no, I don't think.
And just to add a
no, brother, no, brother Delani, no, it's over.
I think we represent success, Dr. Mayat.
I
think we do.
Yeah, what happened? What happened, brother?
I think that we represent right here success, right?
Yeah,
coming up with programs, STEM camps. We got the paper that's talking about a need, for African-centered STEM. Talking about that relevant things here, but we stand on the shoulders of all the stuff, though. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like that didn't push me to do more. I can't do it. It's not in my heart to do it.
Right.
So I'm not throwing that away. I'm saying we're moving forward progressively.
Yeah. We are moving forward. All right. So
And
I'm
on
gonna
the continent.
brother Delani,
peace,
thank you so much. Peace and love to you, warrior. Brother George, peace and love to you, brother George. Sister Juju, brother Aunt, we about to close out. What are your last words? What are your closing words, family?
Let Juju go.
Go ahead, Juju.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times it's, your perception on reality, right? And I know that we have to learn to start having a better perception about reality, because how I see the world and view pan-Africanism in young people is total opposite than what I've heard on this panel. We have young people on TikTok who way younger than me, who have their masters, who are fighting some of the dis and misinformation, also spreading the gap between academia and what's like happening in the streets with the young people. And a lot of those young people who are missing that self-identity, are lacking something at home, are usually coming from troubled environments, the lack of reading. Not all, but this is the dynamic that I see. In a lot of academic spaces, you're not seeing this disconnect, right? So maybe it has something like crime and poverty. Maybe poverty also is lending to this identity issue because people don't want to be considered the bottom of the totem pole or whatnot. I don't know, but just have a better perspective about the outcome and pan-Africanism. And a lot of the negative talk is because people don't know history. They don't know.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Brother Ankh.
I mean, I don't know how the conversation got all the way to people talking reckless, but they did. And, I'm glad you took me out of that because it's kind of upsetting at times. But what I will say is, man, we're working forward. The programs are in place. Right now, ideas down. You got about 20, 30 papers, don't you, Doc?
Yeah, at this point, absolutely.
Okay. And so the ideas are there, right? The groundwork has been laid. Okay. For me, no matter how forward-thinking people think they are, one thing I've learned with dealing with elders in the community, if you throw everything away that the elders taught, I'm saying throw everything away, right? Then you're a bunch of niggas talking shit with nothing at all to have to start over again.
That's
you
right.
learn their mistakes.
That's right.
You respect the environment. There's a lot of context being left here. We were in extreme situations. I mean, extreme. Transcontinental slave trade, kidnapping trade was an extreme environment for Homo sapiens sapien. Extreme. Jim Crow was an extreme situation for African Americans. Okay. Civil rights movement was an extreme situation.
Absolutely.
I'm never one to judge Homo sapiens sapiens when they respond to extreme situations.
Yes,
If you're in a plane crash and the only thing you got to drink is your urine, you're going to drink your urine. If the only thing you got to eat is other humans that died in the frozen ice, you're going to eat them. You're going to cook them up, and boy, it's going to taste like steak. So I'm never one to judge you. Did you know you drank some piss? Oh, did you know you ate another human? At that point, it's about surviving that extreme measure. We are a direct result of that extreme measure, and I refuse to disrespect the people that went through it because we don't know that world. Simple as that. And I'm going to end with that.
No, I'm with you, Brother Ankh. And so, Brother Ankh, I appreciate you coming on. Sister Juju, you know it's always a pleasure when you drop in. So I appreciate all the knowledge, and I appreciate, Brother Ankh, all the brothers and sisters that pulled up tonight, right? People that may not have joined the panel, but they commented in the chat, and then those who actually got on the panel and shared their thoughts. And if you notice, Sister Juju and Brother Ankh, I don't give them pushback. I let them come on and express themselves. You feel like Pan-Africanism is dead? That's your thought. Those are your feelings. I'm at a point in my life, Sister Juju and Brother Ankh, where I'm beyond trying to convince people of anything. If you honestly feel like it's dead and you justify whatever you believe, you could believe you could fly, and I'll sit here and I'll just nod my head. I'm at that point where I'm not debating, I'll put the information out there. I'll write, I'll publish, I'll have discussions, but I'm not trying to convince anybody against their will. I think my uncle actually, there was a quote that he used to say, but I'm not trying to convince. I think it was like a fool against their will, something along those lines, Sister Juju. But that's where I'm at. Like if you want to be foolish or you want to be ignorant, I'll throw the information out there. But if you choose not to accept it, then that's on you. And so for me, I do subscribe to Black nationalism. I do subscribe to Pan-Africanism, and I am a proud Black American. That's who I am, and I do respect the source. I love Mother Africa, and I love all of my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. I just want to be clear. I have nothing against my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, nothing against my brothers and sisters on the continent or those in Europe, UK, or Australia, or Asia. I have nothing against them. I send love to them, and I'm at a point, I'm also loving people that love me back. You know what I mean? And so if they showing me love, I'm going to show them love. And I land my plane there. So anyway, pull up, family, next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another discussion. Brother Ankh, what are we going to discuss next week? We got to discuss something. I mean, this was a fiery topic tonight.
Yeah,
what are we going to
discuss?
discuss?
And we're going to get some
You
numbers.
might got to do a part 2.
You say we got to do a part 2?
I don't know.
Go ahead, Ankh. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know this was going to cause this much riff, right? And,
Sister Dodo called Dr. Mata Egypto, man.
Yeah, he's a nut, man.
Y'all got some.
Back chat is just crazy at this point.
Get out the chat, okay?
That ain't even chat. That's the private chat.
Like y'all off the chain. They funny. Dick Kyle got in his feelings. Y'all ain't letting me up. I'm like, we trying to get out. We trying to get off. So Kyle in his feelings. It's bananas. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, Brother Ankh and Sister Juju. So family, be sure to pull up, next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Brother Ankh, you said we need to do a part 2 of this.
Yeah, that's what Juju said. I'm thinking.
Sister Juju. All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna end up cussing somebody out, so I already know I can't.
No, you gotta do that on your own channel. But Uhuru Sasa.
Uhuru Sasa. Freedom now, family. Peace and Black African excellence, family.
Yeah, Black African power, family.
Right beside the darts of the plan. We'll store that made in art of the man. The new knowledge of power. One more prayer. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroying lie after lie. For the power found found self in these pages of conceptual power. I found the truth and I'm not letting go. Frederick Douglass and Booker T found power. Nat Turner found truth in his darkest hour. Mama Harriet set us free and stood for we. In these pages I found power in our history. UEP birthed the Panther in me. In me, never let a fascist pig carry me, not me. Revolutionary thoughts, all I read. Normal for my soul, keep my spirit on high. Revolutionary thought is always on the rise. Yeah, is always on the rise. Love. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power. Spent hour after hour, learning black power. Destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us, our problems was them. Them being the ones who robbed and took us. Kings and queens, nation builders. From stolen legacy to Anthony Browder. Building institutions with black knowledge. Build black libraries for black scholars. Building black minds, urban philosophy, urban black reads every one place. Black owned bookstores, we support your space. To all black authors, we give much thanks. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power. Spent hour after hour, learning black power. Destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Knowledge is power, our power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge.